About rust for 14 years with Polyglycoat rust-proofing shield.
Is a Stanley Cup 79 sports exclusive. This portion of Stanley Cup 79 is being brought to you by Porsche Audi, the official cars of the NHL Network. Nothing even comes close. And by Men & Skin Bracer, the morning aftershave. Its skin tightener and chin chillers wake you up like a cold slap in the face. And by Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
All the guys that do commercials for Light Beer from Miller are big stars and guys like that. Me, I'm just a humble bartender, but I drink light too. And I'll tell you why. It's less filling, it's got a third less calories than a regular beer, and it tastes great.
Jerry, now that you're a big star, can I have your autograph?
Well, sure, Mr. Dangerfield.
Hey, would you like mine?
Not really.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
How about my initials?
Montreal, home of the defending champion Canadiens, who tonight host the Boston Bruins in Game 5 of their Stanley Cup semifinal that so far has been strictly a home ice series all the way. Game 1 in Montreal, score tie, third period. Guy Lafleur starts the play, passes to Doug Reichsbrauer, who sets up Pierre LaRouche for the game-winning goal as the Canadiens take the opener, 4-2. In Game 2, the Bruins led 2-0 late in the second period, but this goal by Mario Tremblay was a key to a Canadiens comeback. Montreal wins 5-2. Game 3 in Boston, and the home ice trend continues. Late in the third period, this great rush by Brad Park sees him score the game-winning goal in a 2-1 Bruin victory. Game 4, Thursday night in Boston. In overtime, Rick Middleton sets up Jean Rattel, who completes a dramatic playoff hat trick with the game-winning goal that evens this Montreal-Boston series at 2 victories apiece. In the other semifinal, the all-New York series, that's also deadlocked 2-2, and during our telecast tonight, we'll be showing you the scoring highlights from tonight's Islanders-Rangers game, direct from the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island. On Thursday at Madison Square Garden, the Islanders evened the series in overtime on this rather strange winning goal, scored by Bob Nystrom. Ranger goaltender John Davidson gambled and lost. The puck bounced high, and for Nystrom, a lucky bounce. The Islanders have been hanging on in that series, but they were even, and they're back home tonight. Good evening, everyone. This is Dick Irvin speaking to you from our studios at the Forum in Montreal, with a welcome to our viewers from coast to coast in Canada and throughout the United States as we bring you the telecast of this 5th game of the Canadiens-Boston series, one that has produced some wonderfully entertaining hockey. The 2 games in Boston in particular were playoff classics in every sense of that old cliche. The Canadiens now have the home ice advantage, if there is an edge, as this one now is down to a best 2 out of 3. Our broadcast crew is all set to bring you the description of tonight's game. Danny Gallivan will be calling the play-by-play from his familiar spot in the broadcast booth here at the Forum. Joining us is Harry Neal, coach of the Vancouver Canucks, who will describe the coaching strategy being used. And Lou Nanne of the North Stars, our analyst, has some pregame thoughts on this important 5th game.
Well, Dick, for the first season in many, all the pressure is on Montreal. All year long, when they had to win the big game, they didn't. At the end of the year, when they should have beaten Detroit to end up first overall, they didn't. Later in the playoffs, when they could have put Boston away, they didn't. Boston is loose. Boston figures it's going to go 7 unless they win tonight. Montreal, finally feeling the pressure, knows they have to win tonight, or for the first time, they might not be in the Stanley Cup Finals, although they are very capable of winning the Cup again, should they win tonight.
So the stage is set for the semi-final Game 5 between the Boston Bruins and the Montreal Canadiens. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage continues in just a moment.
Ben Crenshaw's game takes concentration. So does mine. That's why I use the Canon AE1. It's fully automatic, so I can concentrate on my shots. And with the automatic winder, the camera really does all the work. You try it, Ben.
Are you serious?
The Canon AE1 is so easy to use. About all you do is focus and click.
The surprisingly affordable Canon AE1. So advanced, it's simple.
One's too strong, one's too light, one's just wrong, one's not quite. It's no fun until you find the one that hits you just right.
Menin Skin Bracers got the nice, clean smell you're looking for in an aftershave. Skin Bracers got those skin tighteners and chin chillers that really wake you up, and there's nothing heavy-handed about it.
Thanks. I needed that.
Skin Bracer hits you just right.
Think about this. If you pay monthly finance charges on your department store charge accounts, EAB can save you money. With this, the credit account. The credit account lets you pay off all your monthly department store charge bills in full and has a lower rate of interest than most department store credit plans. To apply, just call. Qualify, and you'll save money. The credit account. It can reduce what you pay for credit. From European American Bank. Think about it.
Collins & Aikman was a step ahead with Belviva, a yarn for upholstery and drapery fabrics with rich colors that resist fading. For children of all ages, our flame-resistant fabric called PureKnit met government flammability standards without flame-retardant chemicals. We were a step ahead for the retailer, with attractively packaged wall-to-wall bathroom carpeting and coordinated accessories. Fabrics for home, apparel, and industry by Collins & Aikman. Always a step ahead.
In America, a lot of people look up to German beer. In Germany, the German beer a lot of people look up to is Beck's.
the series. The referee, whom you will see in a second, there he is, Ron Wicks. He'll be assisted by John D'Amico. And there's D'Amico, and coming up, Ron Finn. Now we'll have a look at the goaltenders, I presume, and a man who has given Boston a tremendous lift since taking over in the third game is Gilbert. 1.94 is average. Dryden, down the other end of the rink, has been in every game. 8 games, his average is 2.34. And I don't think we have time for Lou and Dick to give us a quick observation. We'll have to pick up the play. Now it's underway. This very, very pivotal game. That's an overworked word, but it is true in this game. Now into the corner they go. It goes to the far side. Mondeau clearing it. Canadians propel it into the center ice area. It's picked up by Milbury. He wheels it back in on that left side. The Bruins up there forechecking with McNabb. Now they fall back a bit out over the line into the center ice area. Good move by Mondeau. Mondeau over the line. Into the corner it goes to McNabb. Up on the left side for Jonathan. It's cleared in. It's offside.
Mention here that Steve Shutt is back in the Montreal lineup tonight as we look at Larry Robinson on the Canadiens bench. Shutt has missed the last 5 games because of a severe Charlie horse he suffered in the Toronto series. The Canadiens have Pierre LaRouche in the lineup as well tonight. Cam Connor and Pat Hughes not playing, along with Rod Langway. Don Cherry has stayed pat. He has not made any changes at all, and there you see Steve Shutt on the bench.
The one line Cherry's going to use tonight, he's going to use Jarvis, Rattel's line against Jarvis's line. I think the only thing Cherry wants to make sure is he's got someone on LaFleur, either Jonathan or Marcotte.
So we have Rattel on with Middleton and Cashman for Boston. Here's Gainey. He's bumping with Doak. Gainey cleared it to the side of the net. And Gilbert not going to take any chance. We have Rick Smith, 23, and Chartres started to get sticks up in each other. And Lou Nanny and Dick, number 23, Rick Smith, in my opinion, has played the best hockey of his career in this series.
Well, he's been a mainstay of the Boston defense since Boston acquired him from St. Louis. He's played very solid defensively all the while, and now he's even being somewhat very proficient offensively. He's played extremely well for the Bruins in the playoffs, but he has done that since he's come to them.
Canadians, everybody up for this face-off. Jarvis tried to knife his way through. There is Big Chartres playing it off for Tel's leg. Gainey dump pass. They jam in on the boards, and they get a whistle for a face-off. And again, it'll be in deep territory to the right of Gilbert.
Now here's a look at that particular confrontation. Brad Park gets it from Bob Gainey right there after he'd run into Jarvis. I mentioned Don Cherry hadn't made any changes, Lou. From the standpoint of people in uniform, he is not, but I noticed Gary Doak out there. I don't believe Doak saw any ice time in the game on Thursday night and saw very little of it on Tuesday, so he hasn't played much.
You're right, Dick. However, I do think he's going to swing to 5 because people are getting more tired.
Right. Now Savard working his way in, and it's cleared down on the right side. Smuts. Jonathan on the other side. Here it goes to Jonathan, and he couldn't get in there to make contact. He had the open side of the net. There's a weak shot by Jonathan. Canadians with Lapointe clearing it ahead to Shutt. Now chasing it to the far side. Lemaire. But Lafleur picked it up. Lafleur, a long blast, the rebound. And Jonathan back to the point. It's not out over the line. There's the shot by Lapointe. Gilbert very coolly picked that one out from a traffic jam of players and held on.
Quite a chance for the Bruins, Lou. They had the 2-on-1, a definite 2-on-1 with Lapointe back. They didn't get a shot in the net. So we still have a scoreless hockey game early in this first period. From the Forum in Montreal, this is Stanley Cup 79.
The Porsche 924. Except for the roll bar, harness, and fire extinguisher, it's a showroom model. What do racing drivers like about this Porsche?
It's like the car was running on rails.
It's the way that this car comes out of the turns. It's just fantastic.
The cornering, the balance. I've driven Datsun Z's, but I prefer this 924.
Racers helped design this car. Believe me, racers can tell.
What will you like about the Porsche 924? You'll never know till you try one, will you?
Do you know me? My name is on dozens of things I've designed, but at airlines, they look for my name right here. The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
the Canadians jamming at the side. Tremblay. Milbury getting it up. Marcotte cleared it. It went to the Canadians' bench and then fell back onto the ice, so the face-off will be in the Boston zone, and a fairly slow start to the game.
Well, one thing, Dan, we can see both teams are using their defensemen to pinch in. So both clubs have to just deflect that puck out to center ice, hope that a center or wing is able to break free and get an opportunity. But at this time, they're really not getting it smoothly enough, and there is quite close checking at this point. And I think you'll probably see it continue for quite some time.
Here's that matchup, Lou, you spoke of. They were set to go, and Rattel came out, so Scotty Bowman counters with Doug Jarvis.
Now it is Milbury. Cleared up on the right side, out over the line. O'Reilly tried to get it. And an offside again.
Danny, I don't see how the avid Bruins supporters should be all that surprised at a fine performance in the playoffs. The team did get over 100 points in the regular season, and when you do that, surely to goodness you could...
No, but you look back, they were very sluggish from the time they played that exhibition game with the Russian team in January. They had no consistency about them, but they have been playing very, very well. Now there's a pass for Jarvis. It goes down into the Boston zone. Gainey back after it. Now on the boards. Rattel laying it out over the line. Robinson back in his own zone, being watched there by O'Reilly. Jarvis cleared it ahead. Rattel rolled it over the other side to Marcotte. He got away from Chartrand. Now it's O'Reilly over the line, and he was met by two Canadian players, Chartrand and Engblom. Backhand shot wide. The Bruins are making a change. Milbury goes to the bench, and Redmond is on, and Gainey feeds it to Robinson. Robinson picking his way. He fades to the left side. Here's Big Robinson, setting it right in front. And Chartrand made contact, but the shot was away wide. Stick handling neatly. Hark ahead to McNabb on the right side to O'Reilly. The shot wide. Now it's cleared in by Marcotte around the net. Big McNabb, a standout in game number 4. He's along the boards. He gets it back to Park. Park shooting it, and he rattled it off the leg. Canadians, 3 of them starting out. Redmond broke it up and flipped it back in there. The Bruins going into forecheck. Now they drop back. They're making changes. Engblom out on the right side to Lafleur. Here's Lafleur with good moves to center with Lemaire. Lemaire in, shot is upended, and there's going to be a penalty against Boston.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
Mario Andretti belongs to a very special circle, the Schaefer Circle. Because he knew that winning the World Driving Championship meant getting every last bit out of your machine and yourself every time. At Schaefer, we brew our beer to taste great every time. Don't you deserve a beer that good?
So come into the Schaefer Circle.
Brad Park in the penalty box for tripping at .331. The Canadians have had but one power play chance in each of the last 3 games in this series. They get one early right here as Park tripped Steve Shutt, who aided and abetted things by hitting the ice very gracefully.
And that for Park, as a defenseman, his first penalty in the playoffs. The Bruins getting the draw, and Marcotte sends it into Canadians territory. We have Lafleur, Shutt, Lemaire, Lapointe, and Robinson. A lot of power for the Canadians with Robinson leading the attack. Into the center ice area. Lafleur goes to the other side. He had to put on the brakes, and Milbury shoots it down the ice. In the penalty, 1 minute and 32 seconds left. Lemaire spearheads the power play attack. A wave of 5 Canadians. In it goes. Robinson shoots it. They're right out in front. It comes. And it's back out over the line down the ice. Robinson having the opportunity. Now it's Lemaire turning at the line. Left wing, it goes to Lafleur. Lafleur on the backhand, shooting it. And Gilbert challenged him again. And he came out. Now it's Lafleur. Lafleur giving it to Shutt. Shutt takes a look. From the circle out in front it comes. The Bruins break it up. Marcotte ahead to Redmond. Redmond shooting it in there to Dryden. Scotty Bowman is making a change or two on the power play. Now there are 48 seconds left. The Bruins, Smuts winds up for a shot. Bruins picking it up in Montreal territory. Centering pass stopped by Lapointe. Lafleur takes the pass. Over the line, back it comes. Pass back to Lapointe, who's offside. Very close call.
35 seconds left in the penalty to Brad Park.
Well, one thing, Dick, we noticed there, Larry Robinson playing on the right side. When Lemaire put that puck in, he was able to go right in with his forehand, so he had a good shot, only to have Gilbert make the save. But that's what you see quite a bit now in North American hockey. The Europeans started. People playing their off wing on the power play.
32 seconds. The time remaining now in the penalty. Here's Savard. There's no score in this hockey game. Lambert feeding it in. It's propelled to center ice by Marcotte. By and large, you would have to say, assessing the situation, the Bruins doing a fine job of killing off this penalty to their number one blue line performer, Brad Park. Now it's Savard, belted by Redmond. Beautiful check by Redmond. Now the Bruins coming out. Smith was tied up by Mondeau. Now Redmond has it. That's going to kill off the penalty. And Park skates over to the Bruins bench. Lapointe, a good rushing defenseman. Down he comes at the line. Fades to the left side. Winds up, shoots it, rebound. Canadians, Lambert with it. Over to the other side to Mondeau. Mondeau tied up by Sims. Gilbert clearing it in on the boards, and they get a whistle.
And Mondeau hauled down Smith at the Montreal line. Don Cherry went into his jump on the bench and waved the arms routine. I tell you, he was quick on that one. Here's Savard getting a real good hip check, Lou, from Dick Redmond.
And it's a good thing he did, because it was open along that right side, and he could have fired a pass across. But as we see Savard, we have to remember one thing why Cherry's so upset. They were very concerned about the officiating tonight. They felt the first 4 games were officiated very well. The people were allowed to play, sticks were kept down. It was aggressive hockey, clean hockey, no penalties, and they felt that this was a good advantage for the Bruins.
Montreal, everybody up for the face-off. 14 minutes and 6 seconds left in the opening period. There's no score. The Bruins gobble up that puck from behind the net. Sims getting it out to Rattel. Rattel feeding it ahead, and Engblom knocking it back to center. Now then Sims to the other side to Park. Up to Middleton. Canadians, Jarvis there to pick it up. He starts back from the line. Jumping it into the corner, racing in after it. Park takes over to the other side. The Canadians, Gainey shooting it back in. Sims rolls it up. Again, Montreal rolling it back in. Here's Gainey trying to get loose, and it's clear to center by Sims. Robinson chased back by Middleton. Engblom pass too high, too hard for Gainey, and it is Sims. Rattel misses Middleton. And they're back into that pattern of very, very close checking. The suffocating kind. Now it's into the center ice area. Here's Engblom making that move, coming in over the line. Rattel fed it gently back to center. 12 minutes and 55 seconds left. First period. Engblom whips that shot in there. Now it's off the glass. Cashman feeling much better for this game. Canadians on it, outside the line. Again, they roll it back in there. They're pressing the Bruins. Here's Risebrough. Risebrough over to Tremblay, and he couldn't pick it up cleanly. At Park. As it go off his stick, the point back it comes. Here's Risebrough, going to get break going in. He hits the goal post. Risebrough. That's the first glorious scoring opportunity. Right off the goal post on that clear break by Risebrough. Now Lapointe ahead to Lambert at the line. The Bruins getting it back into the center ice area. Canadians definitely the more aggressive of the two right here. Here's Savard giving it to Lapointe. He's down with a shot at the line. There's the shot. Here's it, says Gilbert. He said, where is it? And then he reached behind, and lo and behold, it was there, and he grabbed it.
Still no score. This is Stanley Cup 79 from the Forum in Montreal.
Uh-oh. That TV show we want to watch goes on in 5 minutes.
America, stop rushing your life away just to catch a TV show. Get a Sony Betamax video recorder and automatically videotape that show while you're doing something else and watch it anytime you want. Sony Betamax. It could change your whole way of life.
If you're going to Canada and you want to get there the easiest way possible, always board a plane that has the word Canada right there on the fuselage.
Montreal, everybody, a face-off. Boston territory. Al Smith feeds it to the other side. Milbury tipped it into the center ice area. Montreal out shooting Boston 6-2 at this particular juncture in the game with 11:40 left in the first period. Now Lemaire fed it in on the move, number 10, Lafleur. Jammed out of the play by Milbury. It's picked up by Schutt. Schutt centering it. Here's Lapointe. Lapointe twisting and turning. They score!
For the last 3 or 4 minutes, the Canadians have had the pressure. Did Lafleur get his stick on this one? I don't know.
Yeah, he certainly did. It was a good play by Lapointe. He sees Lafleur in front of the net right here. He's actually shooting for Lafleur. Lafleur deflects it up and over past Gilbert to give Montreal the lead. A fine play by Lapointe and a smart play by Lafleur. Anytime you're in front of the net, you can't control the puck. You might as well just change the direction. That's exactly what he does on Lapointe's shot right there.
Yeah, there, we saw it.
Le but du Canadien, compté par le numéro 10, Canadiens goal, scored by number 10, Guy Lafleur. Assisted by number 5, le numéro 5, Guy Lapointe.
That was a high stick making contact with the puck, so they'll face off outside the Boston line.
Well, Danny, that's the first time that Marcotte was on checking Lafleur. Other than this occasion, Jonathan was always out there. But this time, Lafleur's on. Marcotte, of course, can't do anything about that. He's got to beat the point, but Lafleur made the play.
So does Montreal, won. Boston, no score. Lafleur dumped it into the corner. Mondeau in there, centering it. Here's Robinson blasting on the rebound. They score!
Guy Lafleur gets the rebound and puts that in.
A good job of killing the penalty to Park, but ever since then they've been backed up inside their own zone.
You're exactly right, Dick, and right here putting on the pressure, Larry Robinson's going to get a shot from the point as we see Lafleur break for the net, get the rebound, puts it in. It might have, no, it didn't hit the skate. It could have hit that guy's skating gun and it still counted, but that's Lafleur's second goal, unquestionably by Lafleur on a rebound from Larry Robinson's shot. Right there, we had to make sure the Mondeau didn't stop it.
So the Canadians coming up. They have the Bruins going in. They hit the goal post. Rattel hit the goal post on the backhand. Here's the announcement on the goal. Lafleur getting it. 2-0 for Montreal, but the Bruins almost sliced that margin in half with Rattel coming in. The Bruins in again. Cashman along the boards. Now Gainey cleared it down on the left side. Sims laying it back to center to the other side. Chartrand flicked it into the corner. There's Jarvis trying to center it. He couldn't. Now Cashman will give you a rundown on the statistical information on that second goal when the opportunity presents itself. Right now we have Lambert going in against Jonathan. It's cleared in behind the net. Gilbert up on the right side. Cashman, he's checked by Tremblay. Now the Bruins get it out over the line to center. Rattel fails to get up with it. Tremblay back to Savard, over to Lapointe. Lapointe ahead to Risebrough. Jonathan, he hit Tremblay solidly. We're going to watch them. Now in there go the Bruins deep to the corner in their own zone. Cashman giving it to Park. Park ahead on the right side. Savard playing it back to the Boston line. Now O'Reilly coming in on the right side. Penalty coming up. Could it be too many men on the ice?
No, we're going to have an elbowing penalty to Lambert.
With the score, Montreal 2, Boston nothing. This is Stanley Cup 79.
Hey, wish you owned a truck full of gas? Well, now you can own a car full of gas mileage. The incredible Datsun 210 hatchback. It's the highest gas mileage car you can buy. #1. So why pour your money down the tank? Buy a Datsun.
Put your money in the bank, not in the tank. Buy a Datsun.
To save you money.
There in the penalty box, elbowing the call at 10:34 here in this first period. One that's been dominated by Montreal the last little while, save for that chance by Rattel when he hit the goalpost after a bad clearing pass by the Montreal defense.
So this should be a big opportunity for the Bruins. They have McNabb, Middleton, O'Reilly, Park, and Redmond. Here's Gainey breaking down on his wrong wing. He's into Boston territory. Shoots it! And along the ice it was wide. He just had one hand on the stick. Park was with him. Now O'Reilly coming out over the line. Hands it off to Redmond. He hits the Montreal line with Middleton. Back to Middleton. Over on the other side into the slot, and Jarvis ahead to the point with Gainey. Over for Gainey. He was checked by Middleton. Now Redmond from behind the net up on the right side to O'Reilly with McNabb and Middleton. They're in over the line. Into the corner goes Jarvis. McNabb watching him. O'Reilly stopping Jarvis. Will we get a whistle? Yes. A minute and 14 seconds left in the penalty.
We've got a chance to remind everybody again that we will be bringing you the scoring highlights from the Rangers-Islanders game from Long Island. Here's the reason you saw Lambert in the penalty box a moment ago, an elbowing call. Lou, just to get back to that Islanders-Rangers series for just a moment. I think there's a little bit of tension in that building tonight, a little bit of emotion. Oh.
Well, Dick, they're going crazy in New York, and it's a great thing for hockey. They're both playing extremely well, and either club can win that series.
There you saw another look, the high-angle look at that goal by Lafleur that's given the Canadians a 2-0 lead. A minute 14 left in the penalty to Lambert. We get a delay right here as Gilles Gilbert has asked for a new stick.
Dick, speaking about clubs, this club right here, the Montreal Canadiens, I feel that song "No One Does It Better" was written for the way they can skate, because when they're skating as they are tonight, nobody does do it better. Even when they've been a man short right here, they've been aggressive on the man disadvantage, and they had a good opportunity when Gainey missed the net.
Now it is Rattel, Cashman, Middleton, Park, and Redmond. Back to Park. Park working it in toward the corner. Park getting set, takes a look, having difficulty against Savard. Rattel has it behind the net to Cashman. Back to the point to Redmond. Redmond shooting it back in. Montreal fans thought that came out over the line, and they let up a round of cheers toward the official. Now Montreal with Savard dumping it delicately and coolly into Boston territory, and the Bruins moving away again on the power play on the right side. Here's Cashman. Rattel is getting in front. Rattel is tied up and knocked down by Lemaire. Into the corner. Savard. It's back to the point. Hart couldn't hold it in, and Lemaire rolled it into Boston territory. Montreal 2, Boston no score. Now Owen over the line is Middleton. Middleton trying to dash in there. The point got a piece of him. Here's Rattel. Back to Park over the other side. Redmond getting set. He fired it. And Dryden on the short side made the save. And on top of Dryden is number 12, Cashman. Now the Bruins back quickly again. 2 seconds left in the penalty. Gainey hit Park. Here's Miller. Over to Schmaltz. A shot. A big save there by Dryden on that booming blast by Schmaltz, number 11. Here is Jarvis. His pass gobbled up by Smith. Out over the line it comes. Jarvis again is on it. Miller rolled it ahead. Gainey taking over. Down with Chartrand. In they play it toward the corner. Chartrand is knocked to the ice by Jonathan. And the Canadian fans react again. Chartrand went after his man. There's the shot from the line by Mondoux.
My old buddy Jim was a great umpire. He was quick on his feet. He's got eyes like an eagle.
I'm still quick because I don't get filled up. I drink light beer from Miller. Light tastes great. It's less filling. It's got a... What's it say?
Here you go, Jim. Try those.
Oh, yeah. A third less calories than a regular beer. Hey, you're Boo Powell. Hey.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
The Chartrand being hauled down by Jonathan as we get back to the action.
And it's McNabb shooting it in. Robinson looks over his shoulder at O'Reilly. Now Robinson ahead. The shot with Lemaire on the right side. Mongeau going in a goal. He fired it. Great agility there by Gilbert. Coming out while moving out. Struck up that stick and deflected it. They jostle in the corner. Schutt and Rick Smith. Let's see. Now Drew claim right in front. Gilbert taking no chances with Schutt striding into the crease area.
This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
Enjoy offbeat British humor at its uninhibited best with Benny Hill, bringing you the brightest in late evening entertainment. More fun, more laughs, more for you. Weeknights at 11 here on Channel 9.
Gilbert's been a very busy individual tonight, Lou. The Canadians have outshot the Bruins 10-3 to this point of this first period. Pretty good reason why they are leading 2-0.
Well, Dick, you know, they're doing something that the European style of play everybody talks about. They say they skate, they move all the time, and that's one feature that the Swedes have. If you're standing still, you can't have the puck. If you get it, you got to move it. And that's exactly what the Canadians always have done, and they're doing it very well tonight.
Face off to the right of Gilbert. Robinson failed to hold it in. Now Engblom whips it back into Bruin territory behind the net. Milbury up for Marcotte. He couldn't negotiate contact on the left side. Now Robinson being watched closely by McNabb. Robinson has to go back. Marcotte and O'Reilly forechecking also for Boston with the defense playing up. Now they drop back. But they drop back to center, and defenseman Milbury gets it. Gives it to McNabb. He bumps rather vigorously with Lambert. Here's Robinson coming into the center ice area. Lambert to the corner with Milbury. They went in very solidly. Risebrough was bumped hard by O'Reilly. Lambert centering it. Now McNabb up on the left side, cutting through center. Marcotte over the line. His shot gets caught up in the Engblom paraphernalia. Words are exchanged there, but nothing very serious.
Well, you're right, Danny. It does seem like they're getting much more aggressive.
Lou, excuse me. Here's the goal for the Rangers, who have taken a 1-0 lead. Don Maloney, and we look at it for the first time. We're looking at it just as you are, folks, and there it is. Duguay from the side, Lou, just missed.
That's right. He almost slid it in himself. But Don Maloney, who is the overall playoff scoring leader, scoring for the Rangers right now to put them ahead.
I think that's Billy Smith in goal for the Islanders tonight, 31. Chico's number 1.
That's right. They were talking about making the change and breaking the rotation tonight.
So the Bruins down 2-0. They have everybody up for the face-off. Rattel in the corner. Rattel gets it right in front. It's off a stick. Bertrand to Gainey. His pass picked off by Cashman to the left side. Sims got rid of it. He missed his man Rattel. Now backing in Jarvis. He's bumped by Sims. Here's Gainey in the corner. He falls, tries to swing it in front. And it's over the glass from the stick of Gilbert, the goalie.
4:51 left in the first period. It's the first time that any team in this series has had a 2-0 lead in the first period.
I think you'd have to attribute that to the way the Canadians are forechecking tonight. They're not allowing Boston to come out smoothly with the puck at all. Consequently, we're seeing no really effective plays by Boston in the Montreal zone. All the play seems to be in the Boston zone, and when it's not, it's just neutral ice play because Boston's really got no flow going today at all.
An oddity between these two teams, and something in which they should be congratulated. In the last 9 games, there has not been a single major penalty, and these are two bruising hockey clubs. Now Savard shooting it, and it's blocked by little Schmatz. Schmatz ahead. Miller tried to get a stick up to make contact, couldn't. Lemaire coming back on the right side, but Jonathan is in there, plays it to the line. Lafleur over to Lemaire. Lemaire shoots it right on. It goes off Gilbert. He didn't see that. It just hit him in the split second. He saw it fall, and then he covered up. Very alert, that goaltender, Gilbert.
Lou, this is what you call shooting off the stick handle, isn't it?
That's right, and he also shot it right through Brad Park's legs, and that's why Gilbert momentarily lost it, but he did get enough of it to stop it and then fall on it to make the save. A fine save by Gilbert, and Montreal just putting on just tremendous pressure all night long. Just seems to be flowing very well right now.
Montreal 2, Boston nothing. Montreal defense out of your picture. They're playing up. Back it goes to the point. He whistles a shot wide. Schmatz in behind the net, being chased by Lafleur. There's Rick Smith going against Schott. Let's see who will prevail in this struggle. Lafleur comes up with it, gives it to Lemaire. Back to Lafleur. This shot, the rebound. Another shot. Two beautiful saves by Gilbert on Lafleur and Lemaire. LaPointe getting set. Cleared in, and Rick Smith misses on the pass to Schmatz down the ice. It'll be icing in all probability against the Bruins.
I think the Canadians are able to do here tonight, Danny, that they weren't able to do, especially in the last half of those games in Boston, is handle the puck a lot better. They are, that comes, I guess, with two things, Lou, is it? You get the chance, you're beating the team with the puck, plus maybe you're just a little sharper, that's all.
That's right. And one thing Boston's going to have to try and do is run a little interference when Canadians are putting the puck in to give their defensemen time to handle it. Because at this stage of the game, the Montreal forwards are either getting there ahead of the Boston defensemen or at the same time, and they're able to control the puck, and Boston really can't come out. Here's a great chance by Lafleur and Lemaire. One hand is stick away from Bobby Miller and try to put it in, but he didn't. But Gilbert made two fine saves in that instant.
Now Savard is going to wind up for the shot, and ricochet just wide. That headed for the far side. Nothing Gilbert could have done about it, but fortunately for Boston, it was wide. Well, fundamentally, the Canadians are getting much more skating room tonight, and because of one of two things. Either Boston is not checking as well, or Montreal is skating better.
Well, Danny, when Montreal is skating, no one does skate better, so it's definitely a combination. And the one thing Boston has to do, we have more ice surface here to work with, and the Canadians are at a distinct advantage in a case like that, and Boston's got to slow them down. It's not as small as Boston Garden.
Again, Gilbert covers up.
The game in New York is tied. Lorne Henning has scored for the Islanders. We'll bring you the goal in just a moment.
3 minutes and 47 seconds, the time remaining in the first period. 2-0, Canadians over the Bruins. A save by Gilbert, and here is O'Reilly. What a series he has had. Very consistent all the way through. McNabb breaking in over the line. There's the shot. Dryden blocked that. Lambert. Ahead it goes into the center ice area. O'Reilly back in over the line. Neatly got by Engblom. He's upended by Engblom. Napier starting down left wing pass. Broken up by Wensing. Wensing ahead to O'Reilly. O'Reilly going in after it against Robinson. They struggle for it. O'Reilly still after it. Never gives up that number 24 for Boston. He's still after it along the boards. McNabb trying to help out, and Robinson finally comes up with it. Now McNabb is after him. There's the mix-up. Risebrough and O'Reilly. And we could have majors here. That was Risebrough, was it?
Yes, now we've got Milbury and I don't know who else. And Lou, this is the, let's see, this is the 9th game between these teams this season, if you will, going back to when they first played on the 5th of November in Boston. This is the first incident of this kind in those 9 games. The history of the Canadians and the Bruins certainly is not a quiet one. Danny can attest to that.
Well, tempers were running a little high all game long here, Dick, and I think maybe a little frustration set in. But that's two great competitors down there anyway, Risebrough and O'Reilly. And one thing nobody does better is the way they work the corners, the way O'Reilly works the corners. He was taking on 2 men there, and after you work that hard and someone just gives you a little tug, that's enough to frustrate you. Terry O'Reilly working like a bull behind the net at all times there, first with Robinson, and then Risebrough came in there.
Live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Eastern Airlines introduces Super Savers 2. Now, Walt Disney World, Miami, and 8 other Florida cities are 30 to 50% off our regular fares. And one child, 17 or under, can fly with each adult for only $49 round trip. This spring and summer, Eastern takes discount fares a step further. Super Savers 2. We have to earn our wings every day.
Well, here we see Terry O'Reilly coming down and really going to work against Larry Robinson. Larry Robinson, one of the stronger defensemen in the league, fighting off O'Reilly. O'Reilly gets up. He fights with both Engblom and Robinson. And as we were saying before, after all this work, a little frustration is going to set in. When Riseborough comes here behind the net as the third man and gives Terry a little shot, that was enough to get Terry frustrated. He was quite tired, working hard, and so we had the first major since the 5th game of last year's finals. Quite a deal. You can't do that to an Irishman and expect to get away with it. Well, I'll tell you, Danny, that's one heck of a hockey player. As we look to New York right now, and we see where Lauren Henning is going to tie up the game on a fine pass by Lorimer. Henning in front of the net just deflects that right into the net as he was fighting off a check by Vadnais, and a fine pass by Lorimer, tying that game up in New York 1-1. So now we have a face-off as we return to the Montreal Forum in the Canadian zone. Savard, Middleton is after him. It's 2-0. It's centered. It came to the side of the net. Lapointe. Ahead it goes. 2 down on the left side. Jarvis to Gainey. Gainey going in. That is empty. Oh! He missed. I want to see that again to see whether or not Redmond deflected it. The net was wide open. The angle was sharp. Down it goes back into Canadian territory. Into the corner. Here's Middleton. His pass is picked off by Chartrand. Ahead to Jarvis. Swept off his stick by Redmond. Savard in his own zone. 2-0 Montreal over Boston. 2:15 left in the opening period. Now Redmond. He's played very well since they put him in regular spot in the 3rd game in Boston. Here's Park. Park at the line. Lost it. Rattel coming in. It's called on the offside. How did you see that Gainey work? Well, first of all, it was the speed of Gainey getting him free. As Gilbert comes out of the net, you said it when you said he had a sharp angle. It really didn't deflect off Redmond, but he had to go far enough to the side that he couldn't really hit that net, and he just missed the open corner. Well, there is Chartrand. He's not a prolific scorer by any stretch of the imagination, but he's one of these grinding, rugged hockey players. Rattel coming back in over the line. He drops it to Middleton. Middleton shooting it in. He tried to set up Cashman and Savard ahead to Gainey. Back into the center ice area. Rattel, who had that tremendous night in the 4th game. Number 10 out there. He had cleared it in. The Canadians come back smartly into the center ice area. Chartrand over the line. No trouble for Gilbert on that. Rick Smith and Chartrand again. Rattel digs it out for Boston. Gets it to Milbury. To Cashman ahead on the right side. Middleton going in. Into the corner along the boards. Miller trying to pick it up. Shut. Over on the right side. Lafleur coming down against Milbury. Lafleur cutting the corner, trying to get in front around the net. He takes a look. There's the pass. There's the shot. Oh, a huge save by Gilbert. On shot. Oh, that was a big save. It certainly was, Dan. Lafleur looking for the point. Actually was trying to pass it to the defenseman. Schutt doesn't realize this. He intercepts the pass from his line mate Lafleur, and he gets a real good shot. Here we see Lafleur doing it on speed alone, getting by Milbury. He goes behind the net. Now he's looking to the right point, but Schutt cruising in, reaches out, gets that pass, and then he slaps it, and Gilbert makes a fine save. Right here as Schutt shooting through traffic, gets it on net, but Gilbert kicks it away. So Gilbert, despite the fact they've scored 2 goals on him, he has been brilliant. 16 shots Montreal has had in this period. Robinson, another. Well, we sort of jinxed him, didn't we? Well, he had another shot through traffic. We probably didn't see all of it. Robinson's shot is going to go right through his legs. It does deflect off his pad, but it has enough speed as that big boy right there, Larry Robinson, puts Montreal ahead after he gets a shot off the draw. Lemaire getting it back to the point. Robinson through traffic and through Gilbert's legs. Gilbert getting a piece of it, but not enough. So Montreal leading 3-0. Here's the announcement on the goal, and Lafleur coming back.
By number 19, Larry Robinson.
Robinson getting it. Lemaire over to shot on the backhand, and a big leg save. Another shot, and another save. That one from Robinson on the left side. And now Montreal has a total of 18 shots, 18-4. This certainly has been the most dominating aspect of this series so far in this period.
Well, Dan, it just seems that everything's going for Montreal right now as we see Larry Robinson's shot go right through Gilbert's legs. But they've been dominating, as you said, and I understand the first 4 games were tremendously well played and evenly matched, but tonight it's all Montreal in this period. Montreal ahead 3-0 right now with 33 seconds to go.
The series certainly has been a fascinating one, and the 2 games in Boston, the 3rd and 4th, ranked with 2 of the finest from the point of view of fan interest and excitement they've had in perhaps the last 25 years. Now Park gets it to Rattel, ahead on the right side to Schmatz. Back to Rattel. Rattel is over the line, shoots it right on the rebound. He got in behind the defenseman, but Dryden had it chased all the way. Now it's into the center ice area. Park playing it back on the left side. A dozen seconds left. There's a long shot by Redmond. Savard takes a quick look at the clock, twists and turns from the corner to the other side. Chartrand is going to play out the period. The period ends. The period dominated by Montreal. They outscored Boston 3-0. And the shots on goal, Montreal 18, Boston 6. And so the score at the end of the first period, Montreal 3, Boston nothing.
Now, all across America, your Ford dealer invites you to his open house. Come on in. You'll find surprising values like these special edition Ford LTDs. Now there's 50% off the sticker price of a special options package with vinyl roof, flight bench seat, tilt steering wheel, deluxe sound package, remote mirrors, bumper guards and strips, and more. That's $294 off. And there's special values on LTD wagons, too. So come on in now. It's open house at your Ford dealer.
Shop Two Guys for sizzling outdoor savings. Save $41.99 on this Lazy Man portable gas grill. Now just $108, complete with tank, hose, and regulator. Save $61 on this 5-piece wrought iron dining group. Two Guys priced now at just $188. Sensational Two Guys savings.
We save money for you at Two Guys, naturally. We've been working on the railroad every Amtrak day. Make your travel nice and easy all across the USA. Amtrak gives you super service and can save you lots of dough.
Our low fares are as easy to take as our trains.
The Amtrak way to go. Amtrak.
Call Amtrak or your travel agent.
When it comes to fighting rust, there are 2 types of people.
I want to do it fast. I want to make it last.
For both, there's Rust-Oleum. Rust-Oleum's original fish oil primer goes right through rust to bare metal, so you get long-lasting protection.
It lasts.
And it comes in handy sprays, so it's easy to apply.
It's fast.
Not to mention 40 beautiful colors.
If you're going to do it fast, you might as well make it last. Good point.
We're going to come out and play the same type of game, close checking, and I don't know whether they're skating too fast or we're not moving fast enough.
Right, so can't hit what you can't catch, I guess.
Sometimes, but, you know, we were checking them good enough the first 2 games, the last 2 in Boston. I don't know what's wrong tonight.
Boy, Gilbert has still played pretty good goal, hasn't he?
Sure, you know, the shot from the point he was screen on just popped through his legs, and the other ones, they were swarming all around the net. Can't blame Gilly on any of them.
We mentioned on the broadcast, Rick, that the Bruins, at the end of the regular season, the story was the Bruins weren't playing all that well. You know, the playoffs obviously has been a turnaround. What's been the story?
Well, we're a playoff team. We've been there the last couple of years. You know, we know it's a whole new season, as they say, and it sort of gave us a little new life. I don't know whether it was the leading by so many points going in, you know, in the last part of the season or what, but something was lacking there, but we knew we'd get it back as soon as the playoffs came around.
It's the third straight year you've played the Canadians. Terry O'Reilly said words to the effect a week ago that, like, you know, you've had practice at it.
Yeah.
You had a feeling.
I think we know them well enough that we wouldn't be down 3-0 after the first period.
Well, you wonder, 8 times.
Really.
What about your own personal season? I know you had your all-time high. You won all the fan awards in Boston. That must have been pretty nice.
Surprising for me. It was quite an honor, boy, I'll tell you. All I can attribute it to is playing the power play. You know, I got about 12 goals in the power play, so that brought my goal total up. And at the beginning of the year, I was killing penalties, so that got me into shape a little faster, I think.
You had an injury at the end of the year. I was in Boston the night you got one award, and you were in Phillies that night. What was that?
Yeah, Charlie horse. I had a bad Charlie horse, and I hadn't recovered in time. And they didn't want to take a chance on it recurring. It was inside of my leg, and it was around the groin area, and I kept pulling it, and they just didn't want to take the chance with the playoffs coming up.
What about the Pittsburgh series? Just to get back, we haven't asked any of the Bruins about that for just a minute. Don Cherry said that despite the 4-zip, it wasn't easy.
Oh, it wasn't. They played awful well. They played a lot like the Canadians, very close checking. They got the fast wingers up and down the boards, and we had that's what prepared us, really, for coming into this series. We had to play the same type of game.
Exactly. The fans in Boston the other night, I don't know, I've been in that building a lot, Rick. I don't think I have ever felt the emotion that they did.
It really helps, I'll tell you, when they start cheering, give you the standing ovation going out there, and that was a big reason we won both games, I'll tell you.
All right, the standard question right now to somebody like this, you're down 3-0, what can Don Cherry tell you when he...
We just got to tighten up, that's all, and stop them from getting so many shots on net, you know. We only got 4, and that's why we don't have any goals, and they got 18, and they should have a few more, I think. They should be mad they don't have more. I'll tell you, but we just got to come out and check a little closer and put a couple in, not open up any more than we already are.
I think the final total for you was 6. Wasn't quite that bad. Rick, thanks very much for dropping by.
Sure, my pleasure, Dave.
Rick Middleton of the Boston Bruins. The Canadians lead the Bruins by a score of 3-0 after 1 period. Standing by, Harry Neal, coach of the Vancouver Canucks, as Stanley Cup 79 continues in just a moment.
Bobby Hull belongs to a very special circle, the Schaefer Circle. Because Bobby Hull knew that being great meant finding that opening and slamming that slap shot home at 118 miles an hour every time. At Schaefer, we brew our beer to taste great every time. Beer after ice-cold beer. That's what makes Schaefer the one beer to have when you're having more than one. Don't you deserve a beer that good?
So come into the Schaefer Circle.
I told him, now I'll tell you. This is no regular battery. This is the ever-ready alkaline power cell. There is nothing regular about it. For heavy flashlight use, you can't buy a longer-lasting, all-purpose power cell than D-size Ever-Ready Alkaline. So when you want long-lasting energy for these flashlights, think Ever-Ready Alkaline. I dare you to call it regular. I dare you.
We have Harry Neal, the coach of the Vancouver Canucks, with us. He is going to talk about the 2 coaches involved in this series. And, Harry, let's get right to it. Don Cherry, some characteristics, you might say the same as Scotty Bowman, whatever.
Well, Cherry's the best-dressed coach in the league. There's no question about that. And maybe that's why he wants to get paid so much more, so he can afford to even look better. But he puts most of us to shame, I can say that much for him. And I think he works pretty hard at it, and I think he flaunts it a little bit. But after that, I think Don Cherry has one great talent, and that is he seems to get a lot out of his players, because I think you had a choice of the 4 teams that were now left trying to win the Stanley Cup that he has the least talent, but here they are 2 games away from possibly eliminating Montreal. He's a very outspoken fellow and says what he thinks and is not inhibited by hurting anyone's feelings, and expresses his own, I'm sure, to his players with the equal way he does it to the media and to the fans. And I think he's got something going with his players. I think he really likes them. I think they like him as a coach, and I think he has a little love affair there, and I think he gets some mileage out of it, and I think they've got a loyal group, kind of one all for one and one for all, and that warm kind of feeling can be a good one if you can ever attain it, and then you have to have the right kind of players that have the same kind of a outlook as you do. And I think Boston, perhaps more than any team in the league, reflect the character of their coach. Bold, abrasive, aggressive. Here's what we're going to do. What are you going to do about it? And they've had great success doing it. He's got a great sense of humor, which I hope is working for him right at the moment, when it probably is the toughest thing to find. He has no assistant coach.
That's right.
Which is strange, and I think one of the great, it makes the job he does even greater. And I think he's got his team playing the best style for the Boston rink, which is about 1,000 square feet smaller than the Montreal rink, and about 90% of the play is 4 feet from the boards. And I don't think that's an accident that his team plays that way.
Harry, thank you very much, and we'll talk about Scotty Bowman with Harry in our next intermission. The Canadians lead the Bruins 3-0. We'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs with Ken Dryden in just a moment.
That one's well hit. Another home run by Greg Nettles. He's having a great day.
I'm Greg Nettles, and you'll have a great day, too, at your Greater New York Toyota dealer. He's dealing like never before on Celica, the car of the 80s. On Corolla, the world's best-selling car model at only $37.48. He's dealing on Corona with the all-new 5-door liftback. And don't go home without test driving the new Supra, the longer, wider, more powerful Celica. See your Greater New York Toyota dealer today.
I can tell by the happy mood you're in, by that ever-widening grin. You look like you just heard from Dean Witter.
You can spot a Dean Witter smile a mile away. And the more you know about all our investment services, the bigger your smile is going to get.
You look like you just heard from Dean Witter. You look like...
The Mets take on the San Francisco Giants tomorrow afternoon at 4. See all the action right here on Channel 9.
It's always a pleasure to talk with Ken Dryden, and we are doing this on videotape prior to this game for obvious reasons, which brings to mind, what do goaltenders do between periods? And I think, Kenny, especially in a home situation where you have access to replays on tape, do you make use of that?
Yes, I do. There are usually 3 or 4 of us that will go into the videotape room and watch the replays of the previous period. Usually they're the goals against that we'll see, or blatantly bad plays, to see what we might do differently.
That's it. What I was saying, like, what can it do when you look at the game that's going on tonight, other than maybe satisfy your curiosity in a way in a situation like that? You really learn?
Yes, you can. Sometimes you can. Other times, what you're seeing is exactly what you remember happening, and you're not really picking up anything new and different. But occasionally you're positioned wrongly, either individually or as a team. Sometimes you're just not well coordinated with your defenseman or with somebody else, and so you occasionally can pick something up.
During the course of a season now, with the advent of the replays, and I know the teams use it, have you yourself made a great deal of use of this, as opposed to, say, 4 or 5 years ago?
I've made a lot more use. We didn't have it 4 or 5 years ago. We still don't really use it as a practice device, which we might do, and I would imagine in another year or two we probably would. But as of right now, usually I will only use it between periods on home games. Now in the playoffs, we will videotape games away so that we can have access in between games, and also we will bring the tapes back and we can replay the whole game for ourselves back here in Montreal.
The Boston Bruins, you play these teams so infrequently at times during the regular season, 4 times in the playoffs, but from a goaltender standpoint, you or any other goaltender, what particular problems might the Bruins style present?
Well, the Bruins play very much of a kind of a confusion offense game. They don't, they're very good forecheckers, they're very strong, very physical in our defensive zone, and usually what they try to do is to give up possession in order to get possession under better circumstances, oftentimes then trying to shoot it back to the point for an obstructed shot, a shot that's screened or deflected, or to pick up a rebound. The Bruins aren't really a pattern kind of game where they'll come across the blue line with 3 men working the play in for a 15-foot shot or something like that. Usually it's the play comes out of the corners, from either the corners behind the net, on the sideboards, and then working its way into the middle. So much so that really at the end of a game, when goals are scored against you, myself and I'm sure other goaltenders, we often don't know who of the Bruins has scored the goal, because it's been a 5-footer, a 10-footer, a 12-footer that's come out of a group of players. And you know it's gone in, but you don't really know who the goal scorer has been.
Hence the videotape that helps.
Well, sometimes, yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Ken Dryden of the Canadiens, live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
This portion of Stanley Cup 79 is being brought to you by Sony. The Sony of your dreams could very well be a Sony Dream Machine AM/FM clock radio with fluorescent digital readout. Pleasant dreams from Sony. And by Volkswagen, the 1979 Volkswagen Rabbit, Dasher, and Scirocco. Volkswagen does it again. And by the new Ultrex from Schick Super 2, the twin blade that fits Track 2 and Atra razors.
Attention Track 2 users, attention Atra users. Get ready for really clean shaving. Introducing Ultrex from Schick Super 2, the only twin blades with one push cleaning. Watch, one push pushes out soap and stubble for a clean start on really close shaves. Look, Ultrex slides on Track 2 razors, clicks on Atra razors. Get new Ultrex with one push cleaning. Only Schick Super 2 Ultrex has one push cleaning.
That Volkswagen Rabbit really handles. Is that why you're driving it?
Not really.
Well, is it because it can go from 0 to 50 in 8.3 seconds? But then why are you driving a Rabbit?
Because it has more headroom than my Rolls Royce.
Is that such a big deal?
It is. If you will, Chamberlain.
Volkswagen does it again.
Oh, the nightmare of waking up.
Good morning, Howard.
Now end the nightmare of waking up with the Dream Machines from Sony. First, they wake you gently. Then they send you back to sleep to finish your dream. Sony thinks the nicest way to get up is to a dream. End the nightmare of waking up. The Dream Machines from Sony.
Photographing Peggy Fleming was like watching a bird in flight. It was a perfect assignment for my Canon AE-1. Unlike most cameras, even on automatic, I get the shutter speed I need to stop the action. So it's like Peggy's in the clouds, and I'm with her, and the shots just happen. You try it, Peggy.
Me?
It's really so simple. About all you do is focus and click.
The incomparable Canon AE-1, so advanced, it's simple.
That's right, Dick. Lafleur with 2 goals, the 6th and 7th, and then Robinson is 5th. As we look at Ken Dryden adjusting his mask, he'll be defending the goal down the south end of the Montreal Forum. And on the other end, of course, Gilbert, whom you saw earlier. And for the Canadiens, we're going to have Mondu at center, Tremblay and Lambert on the wings. We have O'Reilly and Risebrough sitting out their majors. Miller, Cashman, and Jonathan for the Bruins, and the Bruins need a goal or two to get back into serious contention. Now it's Park over on the far side along with Mondu. Lambert barges in there, and they get a stoppage in play after 14 seconds.
Well, I'd have to say Cherry's making some changes, Danny. He had Stan Jonathan out there for the first shift, not against Lafleur. However, he is leaving him out there against Lafleur right now. As we said earlier, he either wants Jonathan or Marcotte on Lafleur, and other than that, he's not worried about line changing.
Okay, let's see what Brad Park does. He passes it over to Milbury, and the Bruins clear it in, and they have to go to the offense all the way. It's 3-0 for Montreal into the first minute of play in the second period. Lafleur ran into Jonathan at the line. Lemaire going into the corner. He poked it ahead. And there is Miller. Canadians are doing forechecking here along with Lemaire. You have Lafleur and Schott. Savard is playing up too. And Savard at the line. It comes to center. Jonathan going to the line with Miller. Miller can't get by Lafleur. Now it's out to the line. Rolled in by Milbury. And Savard turning from the corner. Savard leading the attack. Right wing pass to Schott. Schott hits the line, has to go back. It's knocked off his stick by Miller. And off the Canadiens bench comes Gainey. Rattel is on for Boston along with Middleton. Here's Guy Lapointe. Lapointe rolled it ahead. Doak back in his own zone, plays it out to Schmatz. He tipped it to Middleton, who overskated it. Now Smith. Pass goes to the other side, and Gainey is on it for Montreal. 3-0 the Canadians in front, and Rick Smith from his own line. He's coming down with Rattel and Middleton, and Schmatz, they clear it in. Engblom in there along with Rattel. Rattel has had the best scoring opportunity for Boston. They haven't had many.
From the farm in Montreal, this is Stanley Cup 79.
How can I cash a personal check at my hotel, even if they don't know this adorable face? This'll help. The American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Burn the trout yet?
No,
but we're ready.
Okay, you guys, knock it off. I don't believe it. And a little something to go with it.
Lowenbrow.
Lowenbrow. And you guys don't deserve it, but my trout does.
When you want the taste of a truly great American beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Well,
Frank, we apologize. The beer's terrific.
To the other side. Schmatz clearing it out to Rattel. He's stopped at center. Engblom makes the move, rolls it into the corner. Gainey is striding in there against Redmond. Gainey into the corner. Now it's Rattel. He's bumped rather gently by Tremblay. The Bruins starting out. It's Schmatz coming down. He clears it in, and Boston elects to make changes while the play goes on. So they couldn't send a full complement in there at the opportune time. Now it's back into Boston territory. Redmond to Park. Park coming out. There's the pass. A feathery pass goes to Foster. He shot it in. Dryden out of the net. Savard clearing it ahead. Mondu knocked it to center. And the Bruins having all kinds of difficulty trying to get a concerted offense going here. Canadians clear it out at every opportunity. Now it's out to Mondu. Tremblay is moving up. Mondu shoots it, waist high, and Gilbert covers up.
Two Bruins collided and fell. Brad Park, and I think it was Jonathan. The Canadians a bit of a break. Lou, with the score, the way it is, I mean, it's tough to play catch-up hockey for any team, but a team that plays the kind of hockey the Boston Bruins do, as we look at that last one, you'll see the two Bruins collide right there. It's got to make it even tougher for them with their normal brand of hockey. It's not the wide-open offense.
You're right, Dick. They had one occasion, as Danny pointed out earlier, when Rattel hit the pipe. It was 2-0 at that time. That could have changed this game, but right now they've got to get a goal, some type of goal to get them going here, because Montreal's not giving them very much at all.
Canadians, everybody up. Finally, Milbury takes over. He is being chased by Lemaire. Lemaire in against Milbury. Schott trying to dig it out. The quarters are close, so close that they get a whistle at it. Face off again in Boston territory.
Well, the one line that we had seen earlier, Jarvis's line, is always against Rattel's line, and that's Boston's highest scoring line, and they can't get free.
Now Lemaire back to Savard. Savard takes a look. There's the shot. Gilbert had to go down to deflect that low, hard drive by Savard. Now Rick Smith. Boston can't get this attack organized. Finally, he's back in over the line, and Montreal called on the offside. Jonathan and Lafleur accidentally bumped, but they bumped whether it's accidental fashion or not.
Guy Lafleur had 5 shots on goal in the first period. 5 of Montreal's 18.
3 minutes and 48 seconds have elapsed in the second period. All goals in the game, 3 by Montreal, came in the first period. Now the Bruins coming down on that right wing. It's Foster over to Milbury. Backhand shot. He was in there rather close, but he had something on that backhand, and it went to the short side where the big lawyer from Hamilton covered up.
And this is basically Boston's checking line. They put both Jonathan and Marcotte out at the same time with Foster, and here Foster makes a good play to Milbury, but on the backhand, Dryden gives him nothing. It was a good shot by Milbury, but he really didn't have much to shoot at. And Kenny Dryden, being a very smart goaltender, just comes out and cuts down that angle and then freezes up on the rebound so that no Bruin can get a free shot at the open net.
Canadians total of 18 shots in that first period, the second highest in the playoffs this year by one team in one period. The best was the Rangers against Philadelphia, 21 in the second period of one of the last game that they played, scored 3 times. Well, there is Stan Jonathan. I tell you, whenever they play the Canadians, he is very much in evidence, but he had an injury-plagued year. A bad wrist kept him out. I think he played in only 33 games.
He broke the navicular bone in his hand, which is the toughest bone in your body to break because the blood supply going in isn't very good and it doesn't heal quickly.
The what bone?
Navicular.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have an intermission on a discussion on that particular bone later on. Now Lambert trying to knife his way through there. On it at center. Tremblay tried to bump O'Reilly, and he got the worst of it. Tremblay did. Now Engblom. Here's Redmond coming in on that left side. Called on the offside. Engblom looking rather fistically as he glances toward O'Reilly.
O'Reilly just out of the penalty box after serving his major with Risebrough. This is just a great check right here. Oh.
Well, that's what got O'Reilly a little upset, and he hit Engblom inside the Montreal zone and didn't come out. He was just standing there talking to him, and that caused the offside.
Now on the right side, Doak clearing it in. Here is Robinson, deflected by Engblom to Tremblay off Risebrough's skate. Doak is belted inside the line by Tremblay. Now Tremblay went after Wensing. On the left side, big McNabb. He spun around. Lambert knocked it back into the center ice area. Hart, he returns it to Redmond. Buzzing around, Tremblay and Risebrough and Lambert. Now they fall back. And the Bruins, 4 of them come to center. They need goals in the worst possible way. They're down 3-0. Canadians promptly return it out over the line. Now we have Jarvis on with Gainey and Chartrand. Hart dumping it into the corner. Robinson is being watched by Wensink, who goes after him. Up on the left side. Here's Gainey scheming in. Gainey shooting at it. And his shot is low and wide. Hart laying it around the net to the other side. Here is O'Reilly trying to shake off Chartrand. O'Reilly succeeds. Takes a look. Makes a good move. Out it comes, and he misses McNabb with the pass. Now Miller carries on for the Bruins. Back to O'Reilly. He is bumped by Jarvis. They struggle. Now Middleton and O'Reilly. Oh, that O'Reilly, he is rugged and tough and persistent. Now it's back. Sims takes a shot off Robinson's glove. Robinson lays it off the boards, trapping it at the line. Brad Park, over it goes. Middleton is offside.
Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
How good is Datsun's new Z car? Motor Trend magazine saw its plush velour cockpit. Computerized safety check. Power steering. 5-speed with cruise control. 4-speaker stereo. And crowned it Import Car of the Year. The new Datsun 280ZX. It is awesome.
Rangers have taken a 2-1 lead over the Islanders. Lou, here it comes, Lucien Debois scoring.
And Debois is one fella that hasn't even suited up for all the games for the Rangers, but here he's fighting in front. He's off to the right side and backhanded in the open net as Eddie Johnson, number 17, was giving Billy Smith a hard time in front of the net and preoccupied him somewhat.
That goal came at 7:29 of the second period at the Nassau Coliseum. The Rangers lead the Islanders 2-1, 3-0. Montreal over Boston here. They have played 6:10 of the second period.
Lapointe firing it up on the right side. Sims over to Park. Now Lafleur knocks it down. Lafleur trying to shot. He was upended. There's going to be a penalty coming up against the Boston Bruins. And Cherry is beside himself. It'll be an interference call against Brad Park.
I think Brad Park was beside himself after the giveaway to Guy Lafleur. Cherry doing his thing in back of the net. Here's how the play began. Park is knocked down by Steve Shutt. Now at the right of your screen, there's Shutt being knocked down by Park. The call, interference.
And Cherry's blaming the crowd for calling it. That's why he's laughing and pointing to the crowd. He figured the referee, Ron Wicks, was a little slow in raising his hand, but there's no question about that. There was definitely interference on the play. Lafleur nowhere near the puck, and Brad Park sitting out the minor penalty.
Park had only 5 minor penalties in the 40 games he played during the regular season. This is his second minor penalty here tonight. The first time he's been in the penalty box in the playoffs is in this game this evening.
There's the announcement on the penalty. Brad Park, interference. 26. So on the power play for Montreal, we have Shutt, Lemaire, Lafleur, Robinson, and Lapointe leading a 5-man attack into the center ice area. Robinson over the line. He sweeps it into the corner. Robinson clearing it to the other side. Here is Shutt. Shutt has it knocked off the stick. There's Big Robinson. Robinson getting back to Lapointe, over to Lafleur. Lafleur into Lemaire. Lemaire back, passes it to the corner to Shutt. Shutt back to Lafleur. What will he do with it? It's over to Lapointe. Lapointe makes a move around the board. It'll be trapped by Lemaire. Lemaire, Boston with that box there. Lemaire takes a look. Still has it in front of the He shoots, and an enormous save there by Gilbert. A point-blank range shot, and Gilbert took it. On the offside.
Boy, that was an interesting situation, Lou. The Bruins in the box, the Canadians hung on, finally worked the man loose.
Well, Larry Robinson occupies Milbury in front, and Lemaire holds it long enough so that you'll see Steve Shutt slide right into the middle of the box. Lemaire with great control right here allows Shutt to take time to get in the middle. Then he puts that pass through as you see Robinson down the lower part of the screen, tying up Milbury. Gilbert with the big save, keeping it at 3-0. A fine play by Lemaire.
1 minute and 1 second. The time left in the penalty to Park. Now Don Cherry has Marcotte, Milbury, Schmatz, and Smith defending. Bowman on the power play with Napier, Mondu, Lafleur, Lapointe, and Captain Savard. Down the ice, the Canadians go to group for this power play rush. Here's Lafleur out over the line. He drops it into the center ice area to Mondu. Mondu a drop pass to Napier, and he lost it. Lafleur keeping it in. Here's Lapointe chopping it off Smith. Savard goes to the corner. Let's see, will there be a whistle here? Yes, there is a whistle, and we have Napier and Schmatz tugging, but I think they were trying to disentangle more than to hurt each other.
28 seconds left on the Boston penalty to Brad Park.
You might notice just on the first part of that power play, Larry Robinson on each occasion has been put on the forward line, and that's to put him in front of the net, cause a little confusion, screen the goaltender, and give the Canadians a good shot from out front that might slip through.
There was a player just on the screen I thought that you would identify, Lou. You haven't got all the numbers, have you? Now they pile in on the board. And it'll be a face-off. This time we have Lambert and Rick Smith almost nose to nose.
Well, the Boston penalty killers right now doing a good job. With the exception of that one shot by Shutt, they're keeping them to the outside, not allowing them any good chances at all.
Just 23 seconds left in the Bruins penalty. Lambert taking Smith in on the boards. Foster covering up. Is it going to get loose? Yes, it is loose. Over in front. They have backhand shot. And a leg save by Gilbert. I don't know whether or not that puck was on end and rolling, but it was still a pretty good backhand shot by Tremblay. Here's Lambert coming in. A shot on the backhand again, that time by Risebrough. And Gilbert has pulled off some fine saves during the absence of Brad Park, who is now back on the ice. And here's Tremblay clearing it into the corner. Risebrough. Gilbert knocked it to the boards. Lambert can't get it against Miller the first time. Now he stays with it. And finally Park starting out into the center ice area. Over the line. Swept away by Savard. And Savard nailed Park in on the boards. Bruins trying to get it. Jonathan going after it. Engblom to Risebrough. Ahead to Tremblay. A rink-wide pass to Lambert. Lambert flicked it into the corner, and that is the signal for Montreal to make wholesale changes as the Bruins start out. Jonathan, pass intercepted. Cleared in by Chartrand. Hart knocks it to Jonathan. Jonathan into the center ice area. He's all alone. Broken up by Engblom. And it's back into the center ice area. Here's Gainey turning on the Jets. Back to Jarvis, a shot. And he rattled that one off the right knee of Doak. In on the boards they go. They fight for it, and Miller is 14. He takes over for the Bruins from around the net, coming out. Swings away from Robinson after he eluded Chartrand. Miller firing it in. Coming in from the right side, Schmaltz. Here's Gainey trying to chop it out. Hopping in there. Doak against Robinson. Gainey out on the left side. Lemaire is up on the play with Chartrand, and it is offside.
This is Stanley Cup 79 from the Forum in Montreal.
Olympic gold medal winner Bruce Jenner makes action look easy.
I'm Christy Jenner, and my Minolta XG 35mm reflex camera makes it easy to catch Bruce in action. One touch on this electronic button, and Minolta XG electronics take over to give me great pictures automatically. I just focus and shoot.
And when the action speeds up, the optional auto winder even makes it easier to get those quick shots. The Minolta XG, the automatic choice for action photography.
Not in your picture yet is Risebrough on the far side as we see Lambert coming down the outside. He spots him, though. He gives him a good pass across, but on his backhand, Risebrough can't get much on it as Gilbert challenges him and makes the save.
So the shots on goal, a very wide margin for Montreal, 23-8. The score is 3-0 for Montreal. There's a shot right on by Scott. Another shot. And covering up is Gilbert, and he was almost upended by the velocity of his cut shot.
Lou, let's face it, the Bruins' biggest problem tonight seems to be behind their own blue line.
That's right, they're having a tough time getting out of the zone as the Canadians here steal the puck, and it looks like the waters part as Schuck walks in and takes his shot, but Gilbert again makes another outstanding save and then falls on that rebound when both Lemaire and Lafleur were swarming around the net.
Well, Schutt's a gunner.
And right there, Steve Schutt coming back off an injury. Looks like he's never been gone.
That's right.
Now it's back. Lapointe will shoot it, and it's blocked. Here's a break on the left side. Marcotte cutting in, and Lapointe comes back to knock it away. A good recovery for number 5 of the Montreal Canadiens, Lapointe. Gainey circles inside the line, playing it back into the center ice area. 9:22 left in the second period. Now it's cleared in for Rattel. He couldn't get it. Montreal knocking it down on the right side. Chartrand clearing it down. Let's see if they're going to have an ice in the air. They do.
Well, it might be a 3-0 hockey game and a one-sided hockey game statistically. I tell you, Gilbert has been tremendous in goal for Boston as we look at Mr. Frank Selke Sr. along with daughter Blanche beside him. Lou, I would think that Mr. Selke would sit down with a fellow like Lou Nanne, a general manager of Minnesota North Stars, and you would just listen.
I wish he would. I'd just like to have a few of those cups that he won.
Here's that break by Marcotte.
That's right, and it also shows the speed of Lapointe coming back to check him.
Now Jarvis starting out on the right side. Pass for Gainey. He got in there, but he forgot to take the puck with him, which is rather essential when you're trying to score. Down it goes into Montreal territory. Middleton takes Lapointe into the boards. Will they get a whistle here? Yes, they do.
You know, the shots on goal total right now, the Canadians with 25, the Bruins 8. The most the Canadians had, Lou, in any one game in the first 4 in this series was 24.
Well, the Bruins got to get a few more people like Terry O'Reilly out there tonight working as he is. O'Reilly definitely the spirit of the Bruins, and he exemplifies the way the Bruins usually play. He never quits. He'll never give up. He's one of the outstanding players in the league, and he's made himself an outstanding puck handler.
From what you say, if he's available, you'll take him to Minnesota. What would you say?
Don't get me for tampering.
Take him tonight.
Lafleur behind the net. 2-1. The Rangers leading the Islanders. That's the latest score we had from Long Island. It's 3-0 here for Montreal over Boston. Schutt takes it away. Here's Schutt getting it over in front. It goes off a skate. Middleton picking it up. Fails to clear it out. Lafleur winds up for the shot. It goes off Middleton and back up on a roll 30 behind Gilbert.
Now, Lou, in the first game of the series, Scotty Bowman was upset that the Canadians were guilty of 22 turnovers inside the Boston line. I would have to think that tonight, Cherry, if he were keeping track inside his own blue line with his own turnovers, would be more than a little upset. The Bruins have not been sharp in that regard.
So you see, only 3 Bruins remaining from the great Boston teams of 71 and 72. Dryden clearing it behind the net. Here's Schmott centering it. And it's Lemaire wheeling away, coming out with Schutt and Lafleur. Has hit Lafleur in full flight. Couldn't pick it up. Now on the left side, Milbury ahead to Foster. He's jammed out of the play by Engblom. Robinson clearing it. Lemaire was upended by Milbury. Now Engblom from behind the net. He came dangerously in front. Now they're in on the boards fighting for possession. Marcotte trying to get it against Lemaire. And the face-off again in Montreal territory.
With the score, the Canadians 3, the Bruins nothing. This is Stanley Cup 79.
Bye! Bye, Lucy! So long, Luther. You write to me now. I'll be thinking of you, good people. Boy, I'm glad to shake that dump.
Don't try to play the noble defender of the sanctity of marriage with me, Papa Man. You know where you've been some of those nights when Betty was waiting up for you. You know, you hit me and it'll be all over the papers as much as the people love you tonight.
You're fired. I'm not just an entertainer. I'm an influence, a wielder of opinion, a force. A force.
John Davidson makes a big save right here.
And that's why it's staying 2-1, and that's why the Rangers have played so well in the playoffs. Davidson's been hot all through the playoffs for New York.
It was Pat Price who shot that, number 3. He was very upset the other day with the Islanders. Said he didn't like the team, didn't want to stay there. He's playing tonight.
Now Redmond snapped his shot, and Dryden very quickly and alertly hands it off to Savard. It's out over the line. Here is Tremblay into the corner. Lambert will go in there, but Gilbert feeds it on the right side. Rise draw, bumping from behind by O'Reilly. Coming down for Boston into the center ice area, Redmond. He shoots it in. Jonathan cruising. Ran into Dryden. That's the second set two they've had. They had one in the third game in Boston, on which both players were penalized. Now Park is belted. Here's O'Reilly with Jonathan over the line, giving it to Jonathan. Jonathan trying to center it. Dryden away out to cut down the angle. Risebrough gets it over on the far left side. Park back at his own line. 6 minutes and 47 seconds left in the second period. Redmond firing it in. Bruins resorting to shooting it in very, very often. Lafleur was upended. Here's Risebrough shooting it. Risebrough with the rebound, trying to pass it back. Park to O'Reilly. Ahead to Jonathan. He's down all alone. Now Rick Smith is coming up in the play. There's a pass off Lafleur. Mondew turning, and he gets rid of it, and it's back into Boston territory. Gilbert put it on Lafleur's stick around the net to the other side. Here's Middleton. Middleton got the puck into the center ice area. Robinson from his own line. Pass goes into the corner. If Rick Smith touches it, it'll be icing, and that is the call against the Canadians.
Exactly 6 minutes left to play in this second period.
No, I'm afraid not.
A Rolls. A Seville?
No, I drive this Volkswagen Dasher.
You drive a Volkswagen?
Sure. Look at this interior.
Nice.
And this Dasher has more trunk space than any of those other luxury cars.
Well, that's very impressive, but Volkswagen's never been known for making luxury cars.
They will be.
Volkswagen does it again.
Turned out to be a shot and over the glass.
Well, right now, the Canadians just content to fire that puck out of the zone when they're being pressured. They're not allowing Boston very many chances. We had one earlier when Jonathan had a shot on the far side, but Dryden came out and made the save. And that line of Riseborough, Lambert, and Trombley also doing a solid checking job against McNabb's line.
So what you're saying, we're having a mechanical type of hockey display. Now, Smith clearing it into the corner. Gainey bumping with Doak. Jarvis looking for it. Robinson's pass stopped by Cashman. Cashman. He and Gainey collide on the left side. Park has it, swings over to the other side. Good work by Brad Park. A pass to Rattel. Off his stick. Cashman is going to keep it in. Into the corner it goes. Now Cashman working it back. Gainey wheels away on the left side. He's waiting for Chartrand to come up. Gainey shoots it, and he couldn't get much on that shot against Milbury. Chartrand shot off Milbury's stick and parked behind the net. Exactly 5 minutes left in the second period. Now it's Cashman with Rattel. A pass to Rattel. Savard takes Rattel down. It's centered to the other side. Steve Shutt coming out with Lemaire, Lafleur in full flight. Over the line. Back it goes to Lemaire. Knocked off his stick. Here is Foster back for Boston. He hits the line with Marcotte. Marcotte puts on the brakes, clears it into the corner. And it is Savard. Pass is gobbled up by Marcotte at center. He lost it, recovered by Foster. Foster over the line. Lemaire to Lafleur. Shutt has to wait to get it off the boards. Returns it over on the far side to LaPointe. Into the corner it goes, and Marcotte comes up with it. And the clock now indicating exactly 4 minutes and 5 seconds left in the second period. Teams are making changes. Savard knifed it into the corner. Here is Milbury. Rick Smith at the other side plays it off the boards. Schmatz hands it off to Foster, to Marcotte. Back it goes to Foster. He dropped it back, and LaPointe got rid of it. Now Redmond at the line. The Bruins certainly not getting many gilt-edged scoring opportunities. There's good individual work by Redmond. Robinson along the boards.
We're going to get a power play here, Danny, and a high sticking call. Lambert. No, it's Risebrough. The Stanley Cup playoff game.
I might have died if it weren't for these ever-ready batteries with a cat on the label.
A car had crashed on an old bridge. As I radioed for help, the weakened bridge collapsed. Suddenly, I was 30 feet underwater. I came up dazed and hurt. Am I glad my flashlight had ever-ready batteries? After about an hour, I was rescued. I believe in that ever-ready cat.
Get ever-ready batteries in the economy pack. They'll save you money. They could save your life.
Well, we see both Lambert and Risebrough trying to get the puck away from Redmond. Right here is where the infraction occurs. And referee Ron Wicks, right there you see Redmond high stick by Doug Risebrough, and Ron Wicks has called a penalty, but it goes to Lambert. Lambert off right now, and Boston trying to get at least one goal closer before the end of the period.
And if they get a goal, it will substantially help and aid their overall cause. Being late in the second period, back to Redmond, he snaps the shot. O'Reilly knocked it down, in on the boards. It's cleared up for Jarvis. O'Reilly, along with Rattel. Here's Brad Park going in for a shot. It's blocked. Jarvis was upended, and there's a penalty coming up against the Bruins with Jarvis being upended, and Brad Park will go on. Live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoff.
Eastern Airlines introduces Super Savers 2. Now, Walt Disney World, Miami, and 8 other Florida cities are 30 to 50% off our regular fares. And one child, 17 or under, can fly with each adult for only $49 round trip. This spring and summer, Eastern takes discount fares a step further. Super Savers 2.
We have to earn our wings every day.
Well, the tenacity of Doug Jarvis going out to block that shot from Brad Park, and as he looks like he's going to break away, Park is hooks Jarvis right there, and now, instead of having a man advantage, we'll see both teams at even strength as Park had to bring Jarvis down. He was afraid he'd have a breakaway, and both clubs at even strength.
And there's Park. That is his third visitation to the penalty box tonight, and when you consider the fact that he didn't have one penalty in the first 4, it's rather strange. Now it's Robinson over the line. They are playing 5-a-side. Robinson twisting and turning, still with it. Over it goes to LaPointe. Middleton breaking out with Foster. Middleton for Foster. He's hauled down by Robinson. Lafleur turns on the right side into the center ice area with Lemaire. Lafleur takes a look. Now he's getting set for a pass after twisting and turning. Let's see, will he ever pass it? Yes, he does. Back to Robinson. In it goes to Lemaire. Lafleur knocking down a high pass. He's shoved in on the boards by Redmond. They struggle. Now Lemaire trying to get it. Redmond coming up with it with 2 minutes and 15 seconds in the second period. A 3-0 Montreal. A lead pass for Rattel. Broken up by LaPointe. Brought back in on the offside by Milbury.
Well, Montreal took a chance there when Larry Robinson tried to pass that puck back to Guy Lapointe. When you're leading 3-0 and you're at this stage of the period, you usually want to keep that puck ahead. He tried to force that pass through to Lapointe, and the Bruins had a 2-on-1 momentarily, only to have it broken up at the Montreal blue line. Something at this stage of the game Montreal doesn't usually do.
So in the penalties, we have Lambert with a half minute and Park with 52 seconds. 3-0 Montreal as the Bruins try to get at least one goal before the expiration of time here in the second period. Twisting and turning, and good work by Rattel. Rattel over the line. There's Spot. He shoots it right on. Didn't have much on it, but it was a tricky shot. And Dryden will start. Rick Smith shoots it. It goes right into Dryden off a stick. Now pressure by Boston. There's a ricochet shot again, and Dryden picked it out of midair. Savard leading the attack, and the Canadians have the advantage. Lambert out of the penalty box. Park still in there. It's broken up by Rick Smith. Puck into the center ice area. Now on the left side, Lemaire couldn't pick it up cleanly. And in the penalty to Park, a half dozen seconds left. Boston starting out. McNabb knifed it in over the line. LaPointe turning on the right side, and the Canadians now have lost their advantage. There's a rising shot. High shot. It comes off the glass with 55 seconds left in the second period. Milbury coming down. On the backhand, he shoots it. McNabb shoots it. And Dryden comes up with a couple of big saves. Holding on to the goal post on that short side. A determined effort by the Bruins to get the goal that would give them some momentum for the third period, but they were stymied. Now they try it again. Here's McNabb bumping along with Tremblay. Engblom is looking for a loose puck, so is O'Reilly, and there is no loose puck.
Well, some great chances there by Boston, and McNabb having the best of them as he whirls around after a rebound. Kenny Dryden finally being tested, and on an original shot by Milbury, the rebound comes out, and you see McNabb just turning around, not waiting. He knew he had to get it away quick, but Dryden stands his ground and makes a save again. So 24 seconds left, 3-0, and Boston sure would like to get a goal before they go in, Danny.
And right now, I was going to say, as I interrupted you there for a fraction of a moment, the Bruins are being outshot 2-1, 26-13. And that was about their, well, I would say about the only real flurry they had in the second period. It almost got them a goal. Let's see what they can do now with 24 seconds left in this period. McNabb, Middleton, O'Reilly, Redmond, and Park. They're all up. A bouncing puck. Gainey goes to the left side, rolls it back into Boston territory. More checking is Jarvis. 13 seconds left. The Bruins trying to get a rush into effective operation here. Here's McNabb with that head fake, goes to the right side. The big fellow is in over the line. He passes it, gobbled up by Chartrand to Gainey, and that is the end of the second period. So we didn't have any scoring in that period. Lafleur had 2 and Robinson 1 in the first. Shots on goal 26-13 for Montreal, and so the score at the end of the second period is Montreal 3, Boston 0.
What one product fills holes, molds, and repairs? The original 3-in-1 plastic wood.
Think about this. Now you can get an auto loan that has a much lower monthly payment, so you can buy the new car you want. The 60-month auto loan from European American Bank. The monthly payments are lower because you get a full 60 months to repay. And you don't have to be a customer to apply. Just call us any weekday till 9 p.m. Qualify, and you can borrow up to $10,000 to buy the new car you want. The 60-month auto loan from European American Bank. Think about it.
With Amtrak's USA Rail Pass, you can see America now for just $169. 14 days of unlimited coach travel all over the country. And when you bring your family along, they save 50 to 70%. Amtrak's USA Rail Pass, the way to see a lot more of America for a lot less. Call Amtrak or your travel agent.
ShopRite does the can, selling lots of brands of everything in cans. Today it's great to save some cash, so come to ShopRite's can bash from applesauce to zucchini. It's a can saving spree. Now's the time to shop at ShopRite's can blast. Now's the time to stock up while the value's last.
This week at ShopRite, ShopRite sauerkraut. 5 one-pound cans, only 99 cents.
In Germany, where we have the finest names in beer, no beer has a finer name than Beck's.
Channel 9 welcomes Pompeii AD 79 to our city. This is WOR-TV, New York.
Today, there is no player who can generate the on-ice excitement and electricity to match that of the incomparable Guy Lafleur of the Montreal Canadiens. But his NHL career had a rather shaky start, as he recalled when we talked with him in the offices of Guy Lafleur Enterprises in Montreal.
I didn't play much the first 3 years, and I didn't have any confidence. And I think when Scotty started to play me more, I got more confidence. And a lot of guys were talking to me, just play your style, don't try to do too much out there. And that was my problem. I was going out there and try to do too much, and I was not doing anything at all, because I scored 130 goals in my last year junior, and I came up here with the Montreal Canadiens, and people expect me to score 50 goals the first year, and that's why we had more pressure.
I think the addition of Steve Shutt and Jacques Lemaire's line mates really helped him, especially Jacques Lemaire's defensive work. He was worried about his defensive game when he came to Montreal, and after coming from a high-scoring league. And when Lemaire started to play regularly with him, it was a big change in him.
The other way, too, I didn't know nobody here. I was lonesome, always by myself, things like that. I knew the guys in the team, but I was maybe too shy to go out and talk to them, or going out with them after a game or after a practice. So I was always going back to my apartment or going to Quebec City.
Lafleur is close to his family and credits his father with helping him develop as a hockey player.
He didn't push me to be a hockey player. He knew I had maybe more talent than the other guys, but he just came there and gave all his help to me. He didn't know much about hockey, but just gave his best, like being there and telling me a lot of times, get down, you know, even if something is wrong going or things like that, you know.
Guy is the father of young Martin, and we asked him if he'd want his son to be a hockey player.
I don't know. I saw a few guys when I was young, and like Maurice Richard's kid. It was very tough for him to play hockey because people were always on his back, things like that, expecting him to do the same than his father. And I don't mind if he loves hockey and he wants to play hockey. I'll try to give him my best to him, you know, try to help him. And if he one day came up to me and said, well, I don't want to play hockey, well, I said, hey, I'll be not going to be sad or mad at him because he chose something else.
Being a hockey star in Montreal puts a lot of pressure on the entire Lafleur family.
You go out for dinner or you go out for in shopping center, you know, you always got somebody to ask you for autograph, things like that, and it's tough for the kids and your wife to accept that, you know, but they understand well, you know, and they try to not to say nothing much about it, you know, they're part of it and they know what's going on, things like that, so I think they're happy.
And tonight here at the Forum, Guy Lafleur has scored 2 of the Canadiens' 3 goals as they lead Boston 3-0. The Rangers lead the Islanders 2-1 at the end of 2. Stanley Cup 79 continues in just a moment.
Some men have it in whatever they do. Some men have it, they always come through. Some men always seem to get it together. Those are the men who are wearing the feather. Some men know how to treat me right when they come to call. My men wear English leather, or they wear nothing at all.
That's Kathy Willis. She teaches at our school. I bet she's worried now about that problem dandruff of hers. I wish she'd ask me.
Mr. Owens, which shampoo do you think?
Ever tried Tegrin?
Does it really work?
Well, in a national survey, 3 out of 4 dermatologists judge the medicated ingredient Integrin effective in fighting even problem dandruff.
I'll give it a test.
How's that dandruff problem?
I'll give Tegrin an A+, Mr. Owens.
Prove it to yourself. Tegrin works.
I may have a bar in my office, but Lawson has a Sony.
Darn. I thought they were going to give me a Sony.
Most people feel very special about Sony Trinitron Color TVs, probably because Sony Trinitron Color TVs are very special. You see, it's not just a TV, it's a Sony.
Dad, I have a date coming over tonight. Can I borrow the Sony?
There was a very interesting situation and a very familiar one here at the Montreal Forum. Yesterday morning, the Canadiens had got home early in the morning after losing in overtime in Boston. They held a practice, and Guy Lafleur was the first player on the ice. Well, that's the way he goes about his job, so now we have part 2 of this profile of Guy Lafleur. Guy Lafleur is famous in hockey circles for arriving at the arena hours before game time.
I like to be there, you know, I don't have to think about driving my car and going to the Forum because, you know, I'm not relaxing at home, so when I go to the Forum, I'm relaxing and I'm there, so I'm getting mentally prepared and things like that. And I really like it because you get slowly dressed, things like that, talk to the trainer, arrange the stick, and I think it's good because for myself, it's good because it relaxes me. It's funny to say, but don't have to think about the game, you know.
Early this season, Guy became involved in a much-publicized contract dispute with the Canadiens' management.
Maybe it was worse in the paper, but it was not that bad, and I think now I'm really happy with what the arrangement are between me and the Canadian, and I think, you know, they really respect me and I respect them, so I'm not worried, but, you know, I try to get the best every year, you know. If I don't score 50 goals, I know one day I'm not going to score 50 goals, but I try to get the maximum every year because I know one day I'm going to maybe going down a bit. But right now I would like to play as many years as I can, but I don't know what can happen. I might be hurt or things like that, but I would like to play 15, 16 years, you know, in the league.
What about Guy Lafleur, the hockey player, as a busy businessman?
I like it very much. It's nice, you know, because I don't have much, maybe a lot of things going on, but I got a few, and I really like what I'm doing and things like that, commercial or publicity-wise and things. And we just start our own program here, and it's a lot of fun, you know.
He has such an easy attitude with almost everyone. He's not big-headed. He's the type of guy that can sit down with the president of any corporation and get along and talk about things that are of interest.
We've just talked to make a record, but it's not. I'm not gonna be the singer or things like that. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna be talking in it with disco background music. And I'm not a singer.
If he wasn't a hockey player, what would he be doing?
I don't know, maybe a policeman or RCMP, I don't know.
But Guy Lafleur is a hockey player, one who in time may be regarded as the greatest of them all. And I have a feeling that in years to come there will be more profiles of Guy Lafleur on telecast throughout North America. We'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
Bobby Hull belongs to a very special circle, the Schaefer Circle, because he knew that being great meant finding that opening and slamming that slap shot home at 118 miles an hour every time. At Schaefer, we brew our beer to taste great every time, beer after beer. Don't you deserve a beer that good?
So come into the Schaefer Circle.
And flash at your Toyota dealer where greater deals make news.
Okay, give me the scoop.
Corolla, the world's best-selling car. One reason is the price. Corolla's only $37.48.
A bargain? Now that's front page news. What's this?
That's the topper. Corolla also gets great mileage.
Lots of gas?
A lot less gas.
City desk, scoop here with a flash. Here. We'll get some mileage out of this story.
See the world's best-selling car for only $37.48 at your Toyota dealer where greater deals make news.
When it comes to fighting rust, there are two types of people.
I want to do it fast. I want to make it last.
For both, there's Rust-Oleum. Rust-Oleum's original fish oil primer goes right through rust to bare metal, so you get long-lasting protection.
It lasts.
And it comes in handy sprays, so it's easy to apply.
It's fast.
Not to mention 40 beautiful colors.
If you're going to do it fast, you might as well make it last. Good point.
The Canadians lead the Bruins 3-0 after 2. Harry Neal, coach of the Canucks, with us again to talk about the coaching in this series, and this time specifically, Harry, I guess it's Scotty Bowman's turn.
Well, Scotty's quite a bit different kind of a fellow than Don Cherry. He's a very serious, business-like, methodical coach who is a perfectionist, I believe, and I think that his teams show that to some degree. His teams always have good special teams. Power plays always very good. Penalty killers are always very good. He always has a special line for this situation and a special player for that one. And he's maybe the best bench coach in the league. He seems to be able to juggle his lines, so there's no way you can match player for player or line for line, but when you try and get away from him doing that, it becomes very difficult. He's willing to mix all his lines up to get done what he wants to get done, when most coaches aren't usually wanting to do that right down through the roster. And funnily enough, his players seem to be able to play with different line mates at different times for different lengths of time and so on. I think he's very defensive orientated. I think he preaches it daily to a very offensive team. And they're tough to beat in one-on-one situations, and they don't get caught for many 2-on-1s or 3-on-2s, and you would think they might, as goal-hungry as they are, as some of the players on the team are, but I think Bowman's got it running through their head that, you know, what's the worst thing that can happen to me, and he's going to watch me on the tape, and how am I playing when I don't have the puck, and I think it all shows up. And I think he's a great motivator, and I think Claude Ruel helps him a lot in this department. One of the toughest things for a coach to do is to keep the players that aren't playing much happy and in shape, and he seems to be able to do that with his 25-man roster. Bring him out of the press box twice around the rink, and that guy's ready to play and do a job. And I admire both these fellows. I think they're two of the very best coaches in the league, and two very big reasons why their teams are as good as they are.
Thank you very much, Harry. Very well said. The Canadians lead the Boston Bruins 3-0 at the end of the second period, live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
This portion of Stanley Cup 79 is being brought to you by Avis, featuring Super Saver rates, holiday rates, and See America rates. Let Avis try harder for you.
And by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. And by Porsche Audi, the official cars of the NHL Network. Nothing even comes close.
Why did car and driver say, if you had to pick a passenger car for a run down through the lumps and bumps of Baja, an Audi 5000 would be first choice? Why did Road Test magazine say, certainly it's the best sedan to come from Europe in a long while? Test drive the Audi 5000 at your Porsche Audi dealer and find out why.
Olympic gold medal winner Bruce Jenner makes action look easy.
I'm Christy Jenner, and my Minolta XG 35mm reflex camera makes it easy to catch Bruce in action. One touch on this electronic button, and Minolta XG electronics take over to give me great pictures automatically. I just focus and shoot.
And when the action...
Getting set for the start of play in the third period. Foster at center, Schmott on one wing and Marcotte on the other. It is Lemaire, Schutt, and Lafleur for the Montreal Canadiens. Lapointe and Savard on defense for Montreal. We have Park and Redmond out there on the blue line for the Bruins. Now it's knocked away from Foster and it's recovered by Park. Park clears a pass up on the left side. It carried off the boards down the ice. If Montreal touches it, Canadians do not, so there is no icing. Now the Bruins moving up, and Lemaire poked it ahead and hit Redmond. Lemaire gets it into the center ice area. Here's Schutt breaking right in on goal. He passed it over, and it's swept away by Foster. Good burst of speed there, but number 22 Schutt of the Montreal Canadiens, and the Bruins starting out. Here's Foster hitting the line, winding up for the shot, and a slip save. Trying to get that right goal out there. Dashing in is Foster. Foster trying to get it in front, Dryden down on all fours. He holds on in a face-off in Canadiens territory.
Well, Lapointe had fallen behind the net, and when that puck was all alone off to the side of the net, as we look at Steve Schutt, when he had a chance here, by the way, it was a good play. Brad Park bothering him all the way in. That's why Schutt passed the puck. But coming back down the ice, Boston had a real good opportunity. Kenny Dryden wisely freezing the puck with one of his defensemen down behind the net, as we see Steve Schutt playing very fine tonight for Montreal.
Now we have the Bruins, everybody up. They look for the puck, and finally Tremblay gets it. He rattles it off the leg. O'Reilly trying to feed it in. It goes to the corner to Jonathan. His pass is high off the boards, and Tremblay back with Lambert and Risebrough. A drop pass to Risebrough. There's the shot, and he rattled that one off Milbury's leg. Big McNabb back into the center ice area. Robinson took it away and gave it to Engblom. He lugs it to center. Firing it into the corner. Risebrough going in. He takes a shot. Nowhere near the net. Oh, Tremblay was belted by Milbury. There's a shot by Engblom. Right on. Lambert takes a look. He's getting set. He's around the net. What is he going to do with it? He passes it back to Risebrough. Now the Bruins starting out. McNabb to O'Reilly, back into the center ice area, and pouncing on it for Montreal, Tremblay, and he feeds it into Boston territory, and the Canadians making changes. Smith ahead, it goes to the Canadians line. Gainey over to Jarvis, Jarvis over the line. Here is Jarvis. It's knocked away from him. Gainey in there to pick it up. Gainey getting set. He put the shot low and wide. Robinson trying to keep it in. He succeeds. A high stick by Chatra. And the play is whistled down.
From the Forum in Montreal, this is Stanley Cup 79.
Oh, the things people do to decide between two TV shows they want to watch. Well, now you don't have to decide anymore, because with Sony's Betamax video recorder, you can actually watch a show on one channel while you're videotaping a show on another channel. That way you get to see both of them, so you don't have to worry about dreaming up new ways of deciding.
Okay, first one to the TV set chooses.
If I want to get someplace fast, I don't get a horse. I use this, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it.
Shots on goal, 27-15, Montreal. With that margin, Kenny Dryden calls time. He's adjusting the toe of his right skate. So now we are about ready for the resumption in play for the face-off outside the Boston line. We want to remind people in Winnipeg that the 7th annual YMHA Sportsman's Dinner is set for Monday, May the 14th. Next game in this series, Montreal at Boston on Tuesday. Joe Namath will be the guest speaker in Winnipeg on the 14th. Now here's Brad Park. Clearing it into Redtel. He gets it into Cashman. He tried to center it. It's back to the point. Redmond trapped it there. Knocked down by Middleton. A shot, and it's gloved by Dryden. It was headed for that area over his left shoulder between Dryden and the post.
Well, Lou, sometimes the goaltenders don't get much work, and, you know, it seems like that's all much tougher, I guess.
Well, Kenny Dryden, when he was tested in that instance, he was equal to the task. He gloved that shot as Dickie Redmond had knocked it down and fired a rink-wide pass across ice. And you see Rick Middleton getting out of the way quick by the defenseman, but Dryden grabs it before it goes in the net.
Bruins, everybody up. Now the puck is loose in Canadian territory, but not for long. Speeding away, Gainey. Gainey is going right into the goal! And another big save by Gilbert. Here's Chartres shooting it. Puck is loose. Savard trying to get a shot. A whale scramble. And it's cleared down into Canadians territory. What feverish and exciting action in front of Gilbert after he had made that beautiful save on Gainey. Now Lapointe ripped the shot off the corner boards. Gilbert let it drop behind the net for Doak into the corner to Redmond. He couldn't hit Middleton with it. Engblom firing it back in. Here's Redmond over on the other side. Doak a pass. Foster going in, snapped the shot, waste time. And Dryden coming out, blocked it. Canadians starting into the center ice area. Engblom ripped the shot into the corner. In there go Lafleur and Mondeau. Austin in possession. Starting out. Schmatz takes the pass. Ahead it goes to Foster. He couldn't pick it up. Mondeau back to Engblom. 3 minutes and 55 seconds have gone by in the third period. Puck at the Boston line. Up it goes. Foster is over the line. He's upended by Engblom. Robinson having difficulty against Schmatz. Now it's out over the line. The Bruins have to wait for Schmatz to get onside. They clear it in. It's knocked down by Engblom. A pass cleared up on the wing by Sims. Here's Marcotte. Over the line, passed it back. You notice 5 Canadians strewn across the line there with the forwards coming back to help out the defense. Montreal protecting the 3-0 lead. Boston trying to go all out to get some production back into contention. Tremblay was upended by Sims. Montreal supporters thought there should have been a penalty there. There is McNabb on the move, takes the shot. Savard clearing it to the other side. Tremblay gets it near the line, not out. O'Reilly trying to kick it in, and it's nudged out over the line by Lapointe. Comes back in on the right side. McNabb. O'Reilly and Jonathan moving in to do some forward checking, but the Canadians start out. Here's Risebrough going down with Lambert. Risebrough shooting it. Rebound to Lambert. Lambert shooting it again. And a remarkable series of saves by Gilbert. Had Gilbert been a little less brilliant up to this point, the score perhaps could be 6 or 7, I think. Gilbert has been tremendous again tonight. Here's O'Reilly. O'Reilly Riley coming down with that head fake. He's in over the line. He's upended by Chartrand. Canadians clear it through center. It's down the ice. Mark down there. He's being watched by Jarvis. Now then, Milbury. Lead pass to Riddell to Middleton. Cashman is on the right side. Over the line. Good work by Middleton. Then he sprawls. Fails to come up with it. Savard got it out on the right side. Milbury in on the board. Chartrand lugging it in over the line. Here's Gady shooting it. And that one off Park's stick over the net and off the glass. Now the net for Park. Up on the right side in full flight for Boston's Cashman. He's in over the line, being watched by Robinson. Robinson took him in on the boards rather heavily. Here's Middleton losing it. Gady works out from the corner into the center ice. He's upended. Puck slides into Bruin territory, and again we have the teams making changes while the play goes on. Cashman, a good move. Now he lost it. That puck came up and I think hit Shutt in the face. Foster working in on the right side. Shutt knocked it back out over the line. Foster still with it. Now he gives it to Smith. Canadians almost broke through there. Lemaire. Pass goes off Foster, and here's McMurray. He has 2 goals tonight. There's the pass, and it is offside against Lemaire.
Take a breath, Danny. Long time between whistles. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
Think about this. Until 9 p.m. any weekday, you can spend just 5 minutes on the phone and ask for a loan that's fast and personal. You don't even have to be a customer. Just call us at one of these numbers. Tell us what kind of loan you need. We'll fill out the forms. We'll do all the paperwork, qualify, and just come in and pick up your money. A loan by telephone at European American Bank. It's fast, personal, and convenient. Does it make sense to do business any other way? Think about it.
It's 3-0 here for the Canadians, 2-1 for the Rangers over the Islanders. Both games in the semifinals in the third period, and now we get a delay as Gilbert convinces the officials that he has to come to the Boston bench for slight repairs. Well, this can be confusing. You know, the era of the 2 goaltender system. Oh, it's timeout, Boston. Well, maybe they had to take the timeout. I'm sorry, I missed that. But oftentimes you'll see that. What is the rule? The referees, you know, allow this to what degree?
Well, if the goaltender has to leave the crease, then they will either have to call a timeout or change goaltenders, and that's one good rule. This way you can't see too many goaltenders maybe trying to stop the momentum of the other club or get some whistles and come to the bench. This has really speeded up the game quite a bit, and that's what we'd want it to do. The Islanders just scored on a disputed goal by Kazicki to tie the game up 2-2. Okay. And the replay shows that the goal probably didn't go in. I think that's going to be interesting. There's going to be some strong feelings in New York tomorrow if that goal is significant, if the Rangers don't hold on to win that game.
Well, the other night they disallowed a goal by Murdoch of the Rangers early in the game. And, of course, everybody talked about that one when it was all over and the Rangers had lost after the game had gone into overtime. Home ice, I don't know, Lou. In the playoffs so far, they played 35 games, and it's 18-17 in favor of the home team. That's not that big an advantage.
This series following exactly the pattern of last year. Series tied 2 games apiece. The 5th game here in Montreal as it was last year. They won that and then wound it up in the 6th game in Boston. Now the Bruins into Canadians territory. Lambert comes up with it. He comes into the center ice area. He passed to Risebrough. He was going the other way. Now O'Reilly. Jonathan mixing it up with Tremblay at center. Canadians clearing it back in. There's Redmond. Bumped by Lambert, and Park takes over behind the net. Risebrough, Lambert, and Tremblay doing the forechecking for Montreal. Exactly 12 minutes left in regulation time. Canadians starting down on the right side. Tremblay got a stick from Brad Park. Tremblay got Brad Park's stick. Now, the point, I think he was going after Jonathan.
The Porsche 924. Except for the roll bar, harness, and fire extinguisher, it's a showroom model. What do racing drivers like about this Porsche?
It's like the car was running on rails.
It's the way that this car comes out of the turns. It's just fantastic.
The cornering, the balance. I've driven Datsun Zs, but I prefer this 924.
Racers helped design this car. Believe me, racers can tell.
What will you like about the Porsche 924? You'll never know till you try one, will you?
And now Lambert grabs Brad Park, who was really the reason for the start of all this, when he was involved with Tremblay, who was cut or nicked by Park's high stick. Well, this is too bad that this sort of a thing has to happen. Somebody got really cut in that O'Reilly-Risebrow confrontation. The first part of that one went to Risebrow, and then O'Reilly took over, and Risebrow, I believe, is the one who has been injured. Meanwhile, LaPointe wants to get at Jonathan, and linesman D'Amico has done a great job. I tell you, he has done just a great job to keep those two apart. Now he gets help from Ron Finn, who grabs Jonathan. Tremblay somehow has Dick Redmond's jersey off. And this is the scene here at the Montreal Forum with 11:52 remaining in regulation time. Tremblay's object of disaffection is Jonathan. You know, Lou, through that whole piece, Tremblay was upset. He was very fractious after Jonathan had hit him. Now, Scotty Bowman is trying to calm Tremblay down. He doesn't want to play shorthanded. There's still time to go, and
actually, Brad Park caught him with the stick first, but Jonathan and Tremblay had been going at each other all night long, and especially on that ship. So Jonathan then was maybe thinking that Tremblay was faking it somewhat. Now behind the bench,
Milbury's gone after a fan and jabbed his stick toward a spectator.
Well, there's a lot of stuff being thrown at Milbury and maybe Don Cherry, and so Mike's very upset down there.
Now we get some of the Bruin players who are not in uniform tonight coming down. You know, the thing that I don't like about this is that something like this being seen in Boston could create some very unnecessary scenes there when the teams go back on Tuesday. This is probably a tempest in a very small teapot, I would think. And the Bruins being upset with the way things are going. Now, that gentleman in there doing the arguing is not a fan. He's a member of the Forum Security Department.
They're trying to have that fan thrown out that was apparently throwing some stuff at Milbury and Don Cherry. They're pointing at him, and they want him removed.
Well, if he was throwing anything, he should be thrown out.
As far as Don Cherry is concerned, that action behind the bench is not a tempest in a small teapot, but something is definitely brewing.
All right, now here goes. The fan is being escorted, and he's going to have his work cut out for him, trying to get by the Bruins. He takes the easy way out. This is how it all began. There is at the top right of your screen the incident with Park, Stick, and Tremblay.
Well, I think you were correct in saying John D'Amico and Ron Finn really kept that down quite a bit. John D'Amico, one of the stronger linesmen in the league, got good position on both LaPointe and on Jonathan, right in the center of the chest, kept them apart, and they couldn't get at each other.
Well, we seem to have settled things down, both in the stands and on the ice. We'll take a break. This is Stanley Cup 79 from the Forum in Montreal.
Eastern Airlines introduces Super Savers 2. Now, Walt Disney World, Miami, and 8 other Florida cities are 30 to 50% off our regular fares. And one child, 17 or under, can fly with each adult for only $49 round trip. This spring and summer, Eastern takes discount fares a step further. Super Savers 2. We have to earn our wings every day.
Well,
all right, this is the disputed goal in New York. Kazicki does the scoring. Lou, let's see what we can see here.
That's right. Mike Kazicki, who's been playing very well for the Islanders, apparently took the shot.
It's the puck.
Now, we see Davidson moving towards it. It looks like it's hitting a post, if that's the shot that they're counting as the goal. It's hitting the post, hitting Davidson. Now, whether it goes in the net or not, where is the puck?
There
it's
it is, at his pads.
And apparently, when his stick hit the back of the net, the goal judge must have ruled that a goal.
Oh, I can't believe that one.
The puck never entered the net. but the color of the Ranger uniforms and a dark stick hitting the back apparently was what the goaltender or goal judge believed was the goal. The light goes on, it ties the game, and definitely not a goal, but called a goal, so it's 2-2 at the Island.
Well, there you see the penalty clock.
08. Well, Dick, one thing, a lot of things were thrown on the ice, and this is really the cause of delay. There wasn't that much action over on the boards. There was a little skirmish between Riseborough and O'Reilly. Everything else was pretty much just shoving, and the linesman and referee had it under control, but too many things were thrown on the ice. This really is what's causing the delay, and it's unfortunate because it takes away from a great game we've had tonight. Fans should never throw stuff on the ice. There's been many occasions when hockey players skating down the ice hit things that were lodged in the ice because they were so hot they melted into the ice, and some people have been hurt seriously, and they should really refrain from that. It not only makes you spend extra time, it takes away from a good game, and it caused a delay in a very well-played game by the Montreal Canadiens tonight.
Danny, maybe you could recap the penalty situation there now that it's all been sorted out.
Yes, we have Parkov 2 minutes for fighting, Jonathan 2 minutes for roughing, and O'Reilly 5 minutes for fighting. That is on the Boston side of the ledger. And then for the Montreal Canadiens, Lapointe 2 minutes for roughing, and Riseborough 5 minutes for fighting. So you have O'Reilly and Riseborough with the coincident major penalties. The manpower situation, because of their penalties, will not be altered or affected on the ice. So you have Park and Jonathan with 2 minors against the Montreal Canadiens, 1 minor to Lapointe. And that for Park is his 4th penalty.
Yeah, as we mentioned, only 5 all year in the regular season in 40 games. Well, you saw a moment ago our plug for Game 6. It'll be a dandy in Boston, 7:30 Eastern Time from the Boston Garden next Tuesday night.
Well, Montreal forwards were on Brad Park tonight very quickly. Brad Park, a key to the Boston Bruin defense and an outstanding defenseman, really didn't have much room to operate tonight. They checked him very closely all night long, and maybe because he was checked so closely, it brought occasion for him to incur some of these penalties. We're looking at the crowd, a little disturbance in the crowd right now. Everybody looking up to the upper sections. Probably a couple disgruntled fans undoubtedly cheering for one for Boston, one for Montreal.
Well, just on your monitor there was a world champion, Anatoly Karpov from the Soviet Union, a great hockey fan.
So Montreal with the advantage. They are on the power play, 11 minutes and 45 seconds left. Lafleur dumping it into the corner. There's Napier. He's bodied by Milbury. Now behind the net, Lemaire trying to get it, gives it to Napier. Back to the point to Lafleur. Here's Robinson shooting it. And it's blocked and comes to the side. Robinson takes another look. Will he blast one? Let's see. He's waving over the other side to Lafleur. Gives it to Lafleur. Back to Robinson. In it goes. A deflection. Here's Robinson shooting it. It's blocked. Robinson to Lafleur. He fakes the shot. Into the corner it goes to Lemaire. Here's Robinson again. Winding up the shot. Rebound, another shot. Gilbert, absolutely brilliant throughout the entire piece. Well, two different occasions. That puck came off the backboards very quickly, close to the net, and Gilbert had been moving out on the puck. Therefore, the Montreal Canadiens had a couple of occasions to put it in the empty net, as we see Robinson taking the shot off the backboards. Now, Gilly was moving up the first. This is the save here, the final save. But previous to that, there were 2 shots coming off the backboard. Lemaire almost put in the empty net. In fact, one defenseman had to take one out.
A couple of former North Stars out there, Lou, Gilbert and Dick Redmond.
That's right, and they played very well for the North Stars when they were there.
Mondu, Lafleur shot, and Robinson on the power play. Back it goes to Robinson. Redmond, Smith, and Milbury defending for the Boston Bruins. Robinson leaves it to Lafleur. Back to Robinson. Robinson taking his time. Where is it going to go? To the other side to Lemaire. He booms the shot, and it's off Gilbert. Back it goes to Robinson. Robinson over to Lemaire. Hits all points. Covering up. Gilbert. Steve Shutt will rattle that one off the goal post.
what's just happened here in Montreal.
A fine setup by Robinson and shot on the far side with a good angle on his forehand. Gilly comes out, not giving him too much to shoot at, and he rattled it off the post right back into Gilbert. And it's really significant, the difference, as we look at the world chess champion, by the way, that we spoke about before. What a difference it is to have a 4-on-3 instead of a 5-on-4. Statistic-wise, it's only 5%, but it's much better with more ice to work with.
Now Canadians keeping in. Savard to Lafleur, back to Robinson. He shoots it. Shot hit the side of the net. Here is shot. Corner, Lafleur was upended. Dryden is out of the net. Here's Lafleur. Back to Robinson. And it goes off Marcotte's leg. Canadians with the extra attacker in front of Robinson. There it goes to Lemay. Backhand shot. Savard over to Robinson. Back to Savard. Goal!
Well, Serge Savard on a fine setup as Dryden was already in the bench and Montreal had the extra attacker out because of a delayed penalty. Savard rattles a shot on the far side after he gets a real fine setup here. You'll see the pass from Robinson go back to Savard, and Savard using the people in front for a screen, let it go on the far side, beating Gilbert, putting Montreal ahead 4-0.
That was a great camera shot, Lou, right after the goal went in. The very beleaguered and certainly very gallant Gilbert down on his knees. What a show he has put on here tonight. The Canadians have outshot the Bruins 36-17. This is the goal by Ron Greshner that gave the Rangers a 3-2 lead. Right here. Pretty basic in that one, Lou. He just drilled it home. But after that, Lou, Bob Nystrom scored. And it's 3-3. Oh.
For being a defensive game in the past games in New York, all of a sudden they got a shootout going there.
Number 19, Larry Robinson. Et le numéro 25, number 25, Jacques Lemaire. Time of the goal, 10:03, 10 minutes, 3 secondes.
So now, Jonathan and Lapointe out of the penalty box. They're playing 6 aside. Montreal in front 4-0 with 9 minutes and 37 seconds left in regulation time. Here is Schmutz taking a pass over on the other side to Middleton. He's across the line, feeding it in front, but the offside whistle had sounded.
With the score, the Montreal Canadiens 4, the Boston Bruins nothing. This is Stanley Cup 79.
You know, for too long now, bowlers have been left out of light beer commercials, and football players have been grabbing all the glory. But bowlers know light beer from Miller tastes great. We know light's got 1/3 less calories than the regular beer. We know light's less filling. Bowlers love light just as much as football players.
That's right.
And we also love the easy opening can.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Back to New York again. Here's the Nystrom goal, which came 23 seconds after Greshner's goal.
And that's Bob Lorimer, who's played so well for the Islanders all during this year. He's feeding Potvin. Potvin breaking through a couple of Rangers. We see Nystrom right in the center of the slot area at this time as Bobby Bourne picks up that puck. Actually, could have had a stick checked, and now it's fed over to the side. Nystrom all alone in front, puts it right in to tie the game 23 seconds after the Rangers had gone ahead.
And that long shot from center taken by Brad Park. Canadians in their own zone. Lapointe feeding it out on the left side. It goes down into Bruin territory. Redmond back there. Gainey is after him. Jarvis is going to try to keep it in. He can't. Now Gainey has it. Gainey twisting and turning. His pass is stopped by Redmond. Here come the Bruins, led by Middleton in over the line on the left side to Rattel. Rattel getting set to pass it, but it's knocked away by Lapointe. Lapointe with Gainey and Chartrand. Gainey has it, a drop pass to Lapointe. There's the shot. Rebound. Cleared away by Gilbert. Behind the net. Redmond to Middleton. Middleton into the center ice area. The lead pass goes down the ice. And the whistle sounds. And the face-off will be back near the Boston blue line. 8 minutes and 36 seconds left
Well, Game 6 will be at the Boston Garden next Tuesday night.
Canadians shooting it in, shot falls. Lemaire's shot, and Lafleur, here's Miller in over the line, and Engblom knocked it out on the right side to Lafleur, left wing pass, too far. First shot, Rick Smith touching it, and the Canadians are called on the icing infraction.
You know, during that flurry, one of the empty net situations Montreal had, Lou, was stopped by this fellow, Rick Smith.
That's right.
He has played quite a series for this team.
He certainly has. He's been probably the stalwart of the defensive part of the Boston hockey team all through these playoffs. They're very, very pleased with the way Rick Smith has been playing for the Bruins.
Big crowd here tonight, Danny. 17,593. I believe that is the largest playoff crowd here at Montreal.
That is the first one since the playoffs started in the 17,000 range. Here's Milbury trying to center it against Engblom. Tremblay rolled it down the line. I would think the two games in Boston had something to do with the substantial increase. Here's Mondu, over it goes. He scores! Tremblay!
Big play by Mondu, stealing that puck from Winsink, as that puck is stolen with all the Bruins moving out of the zone. And all he had to do was lay it right back to Tremblay, who's in all alone on Gilbert. Here's where the puck is stolen, right there by Mondu. And Mondu just lays it right back to Tremblay. Tremblay just beat Gilly. Gilly couldn't get back in time. He had moved over to cut off the angle on Mondu.
Here it is. It's John Winsink, who hasn't seen much action, but he's beaten by Mondu in the forecheck. And Mondu set up to Tremblay, gives the Canadians a 5-0 lead.
By number 6, Pierre Mondu.
Backhand shot by Winsink. And he almost broke the shutout. He stole that puck away from Robinson. That last scoring play for Montreal. Tremblay from Mondu will give you the time in a moment or two. 7.5 minutes left in the third period. 5-0 for Montreal. McNabb coming in over the line. Engblom lays it into the center ice area. Over on the other side, Milbury returns it on the right wing for Doak. He cleared it in, forechecking is Miller. Napier propelled it into the center ice area. Mondu couldn't get anywhere on the right side and then cleared it in and goes to the Canadiens bench. Bruins Miller, he struggles to the center ice area. Jarvis feeding it into the corner. There is Doak. Doak gets it ahead to Miller. Gainey forechecking along with Jarvis. They pile in on the boards, and the face-off will be in Boston territory.
The Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Forum in Montreal.
If you're a small businessman, European American Bank has a way for you to have money instantly. For inventory, expansion, for whatever you need, whenever you need it. It's called the EAB Small Business Credit Account. Qualify, and you get a credit line of up to $25,000. To use it? Just write a check. It's really that simple. European American Bank's Small Business Credit Account. It puts money into your hands when you need it.
Minutes and 41 seconds left in the third period. Here's Savard shooting it in on the other side. You see Lafleur trying to get it away from Sims. It's centered, and Doak clears it out. Middleton to Miller on the left side, in over the line. Miller cutting in, and he falls against the point. There is Savard coming out. with Shot, Lemaire, and Lafleur. Lemaire has it, takes a look, takes the shot off the leg into the corner right out in front. Lemaire passed it back, and Shot was out of position. Schmatz turning in front of the net on the left side. Sims to Miller, back it goes to Schmatz. He's in over the line, takes the shot. Dryden very quickly kicked it to the corner. In behind the net to the other side, Miller bumping rather gently there with Shot. Savard is there too, so the face-off will be in the Canadian zone.
We'll get back to that comment from Middleton about the start of this hockey game. It's really when it all started to happen.
Well, they felt real loose all day long, and you would have thought that they'd come out storming, but one thing Montreal did do, they took it to them in the opening couple of minutes. They really forechecked very well. They pressed, you know, real strongly, creating numerous opportunities, and they finally scored. And when they scored once, they scored a second time, and that really, really had to have a strong effect on Boston and slowed them down, took a lot of starch out of them.
Now we have Park and Redmond inside the line, but the Canadians get the draw, and that's Gainey on the left side. Chartrand over the other wing, comes through center at the line. Robinson for Gainey, couldn't get by Marcotte. At the line, it's Engblom. Ahead with Chartrand. Redmond takes a look. Up on the left side, across the line, cutting to the other wing. Foster to Cashman, there's the shot. At the point, Redmond trying to clear it in, and it goes off Jarvis into the penalty bench area.
Well, I know one thing, the way this series has gone and the way the Bruins have played Montreal, you could have made a few bucks if you'd have wagered the Canadians would get 37 shots, maybe more, on this team.
That's very significant because coming into this game, Boston wasn't giving many shots. In fact, they were always around 20, and all of a sudden, 37 shots, and when you start that first period with about 18, that sort of set the tone.
Hawking it up from the bench, you got a shot of Captain Savard. Referee tells McNabb and Winsink they must go back to the Boston bench. So let's see, we have Foster, Cashman, and Marcotte for the Bruins. For Montreal, Risebrough. Cashman shooting it. That was a big save with that big right leg by Dryden. And it's still a shutout score, 5-0.
Kenny Dryden, even though he seemed to be just a little deep in the net, had to save that shot off Cashman. As we see Cashman going to the bench, Cash never hesitated too long. He just took that shot. He got good wood on it, and he let it go down low, a good spot. But Kenny, even though he's a little deep in the net, when you got those big legs, he makes a save.
Now Rick Smith takes a shot, the rebound. O'Reilly couldn't get it against Savard. Lambert out to Risebrough with Trombley. Back to Trombley. He almost completely fanned on that. Milbury ahead to McNabb on the left side. McNabb shooting it in, less than 5 minutes to go in the third period. Now here's the break on the right side. Trombley with Risebrough. Trombley couldn't get it over to Risebrough. It was blocked by Milbury. Now Savard coming in over the line. Trombley has it over to Risebrough, going in, and he hit the side of the net. Back it goes to Lapointe, a shot right on, and Milbury takes over for Boston. He leads the attack out over the line into the center ice area, dumped it rather gently into the corner, follows in, he's roughing it up with Savard. And the puck goes over the glass and the face-off in Canadiens territory.
Live from the Forum in Montreal, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
What? Handily. That Scirocco is some sexy sports car. You people know how to live. A Volkswagen Scirocco. I'd have thought you'd have a Ferrari or Maserati.
I do.
Volkswagen does it again.
And there you have the salient statistics. Third period, 5-0 the score, 4:06 left. And the Canadians from the face-off come to center. Engblom falls and sprawls at center. The puck is Andrew, now looking ahead to this sixth game in Boston on Tuesday. Some observations.
Well, Danny, Boston, even though they were down 2 games going back to Boston, won both games, and I'm sure they're going to be confident, as we see Engblom when he actually was being checked by Miller, but took a little dive there.
Now Mondu shooting it in. Napier in there trying to tie up the Bruins. Napier fed it off the boards to the other side. Here is Middleton. Engblom. Engblom snapped the pass. Napier couldn't get it. 5-0 the score. Montreal in front, 3:33 left. Here's Tiller going in against Robinson. A quick jolt by Robinson into the corner. Middleton getting it back. Here is Sims winding up for the shot, and that changed direction and missed the far side. And right now, the main concern of the Canadians, I would think, perhaps, is the preservation of the shutout for Dryden. Now it's Schmatz. A splendid move to get away from Napier right in front. Schmatz dropping it back to Middleton. Weak shot. Middleton again shooting it. And that hit a leg. Now less than 3 minutes to go in regulation time. Here's Mondu. Drop pass to Trombley. Trombley cutting in front. Gilbert came out and tipped that away with his stick. Middleton back in over the line, trying to swing around Lapointe. A penalty coming up against Lapointe. The Rangers, I think, have scored. They're leading now 4-3. Is that it?
That's right, Danny. Rangers ahead, as we see. Hedberg got the goal, by the way, but here's Rick Middleton coming down, putting a good move on Guy Lapointe. Lapointe has to drag him down. He wants to make sure he doesn't get free to get a shot in on Dryden and break that shutout. Lapointe going to the penalty box. 2:41 to go. Boston on the power play. And in New York, Hedberg scores to put the Rangers ahead.
That's the goal. Canadians penalty to number 5, Guy Lapointe.
2:10 to play in New York, by the way, with the Rangers leading in that game. Really a seesaw battle, as that whole series has been.
And right here, we have 2 minutes and 41 seconds in regulation time, and remind you about the 6th game in Boston on Tuesday evening. That game will be telecast on the entire CBC network.
We're going to see Hedberg score the goal against the Islanders as he got a loose puck all alone in front. One save by Billy Smith, but a backhand shot up and over Smith, putting the Rangers ahead. Hedberg, even though he was stopped originally, fought for that puck. He got it again, and he put a backhander over top of Billy Smith, puts the Rangers ahead with just a little over 2 minutes to go in New York.
And the time of that telecast on Tuesday night from the Garden in Boston is 7:30. 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. We had a bit of a conference there. Park was talking to Ron Wicks, so was O'Reilly. So let's see what the Bruins have with regard to the alignment on the power play. They have Cashman, McNabb, O'Reilly, Redmond, and Park. Savard gets it. He clears it to the line. Out it comes. Back to Park. Park at the line, ahead into the center ice area to Redmond. He hits the Montreal line into the corner. It goes to Cashman. He tried to center it around the net. Gainey clearing it to the other side. He was sandwiched by Cashman and O'Reilly. Canadians trying desperately to clear it out. Here's Redmond. Good move. Goes to the right side. Redmond struggles to pass onto Napier's stick. Savard with Gainey. Savard cruises down into Boston territory. He'd like to hold it in the corner and get a whistle, but that's not going to happen. The Bruins are starting out quickly. Hart, he has Big McNabb on the other side. McNabb goes to the corner, right out in front. Cashman couldn't get it. Savard is there, and he clears it back down the ice with 1 minute and 46 seconds left in the third period, and now exactly a minute remaining in the penalty. O'Reilly leading a 4-man attack. Cashman races up on that left wing. He goes to the corner trying to center it. Dryden knocked it away. Here's O'Reilly behind the net. O'Reilly to Cashman. They score! I think that went in on the short side.
Well, Cashman getting a setup from O'Reilly from behind the net. Even though he's fighting with Engblom in front, Cashman gets it by Dryden on the short side. Dryden was facing him, he challenged him, but all the work really done by O'Reilly as we see him come along, pick up that puck with his skates. He's fighting off a check by Lemaire. He centers that puck, Cashman shooting it, and it hits Dryden and goes in the net. And breaks that shutout with just a little time left in the power play. Here's O'Reilly setting up Cashman. Cashman fighting it as he's fighting off a check from England.
That is not going to sit well with Kenny Dryden and the Canadians, because in the series against Toronto with 17 seconds to go, Lanny McDonald scored to destroy a shutout. However, the game is the important thing. It's 5-1, a minute and 10 seconds left. And I suppose by this stage we can say in regulation time and in the hockey game, there's a long shot into the pads of Gilbert, and he had a little trouble there.
Danny, in New York, there's 8 seconds left. The Islanders have their goaltender out. The Islanders trailing by 1 goal, trying to tie it up.
The amazing thing about that series is the way that they have bottled up Bossy and Trottier.
That's right. As we see Gilbert making a save, Bossy really hasn't had any opportunities until the last game. He had 1 chance.
There's a shot waste time by LaPointe. Now we have 56 seconds left. Milbury in his own zone, ahead out over the line. Mondeau pounces on it. Middleton goes into the center ice area to Rattel, broken up by LaPointe. Lugging it in on the right side now is Milbury, but it is offside. 42 seconds left. The score in that Toronto game was 5-1. That was on April the 18th. Lanny McDonald from Sittler and Anderson, and there were 17 seconds left.
Well, Lambert out there tonight for the Montreal Canadiens, playing a very strong game, a solid game, playing on 2 different lines, occasionally with Mondeau and sometimes with Riseborough. As we see Scotty Bowman not showing any signs of elation, but knowing that he feels very comfortable right now.
And Ron Andrews has registered 18:32 as the time of the Cashman goal from O'Reilly and Milbury, a power play goal. Now we have 32 seconds left. Foster is belted on the boards by Chartrand. Lambert clearing it down into Boston territory. Sims ahead for Foster. Into the corner, Engblom. Behind the net, Miller is after him. Now Foster jammed out of the play by Chartrand. Engblom clearing it out. And we have the countdown is on here at the Forum in Montreal. 3 seconds. Robinson has it. That's going to be the hockey game. And the Montreal Canadiens take a 3-2 lead in games in this series, which actually turned out to be a best-of-3 series going into tonight's game.
And so do the New York Rangers, as they just defeated the Islanders 4-3.
Canadians.
Injuries the way he used to. The net result, he's struggling. Look at the